Nets here on ESPN Radio. The Sixers lead the series 2-0. Also tonight, Kings and Warriors in Oakland with Sacramento up 2-0. Suns and Clippers in Los Angeles with the series tied. ESPN's Om Young Masuk reports Kawhi Leonard is out for the Clippers with a right knee sprain. The NFL draft is now only a week away. So what's happening with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets? ESPN's Diana Rossini.
It was a month ago. He told Pat McAfee that he was going to be a New York Jet, right? Or at least he wanted to play for the New York Jets. They were talking. I was at the league meetings in Arizona. I physically saw the GM from the Green Bay Packers, the GM from the New York Jets at some point having chats. And not a lot of talk has happened since then.
Diana Rossini on Key J and Max. Our Adam Schefter reports former Patriots assistant Matt Patricia is moving back to the defense. He's the new senior defensive assistant for the Eagles. He called plays for the New England offense last year.
Coming up Friday as Donovan Mitchell gets ready to play in the Garden, I'll tell you why the Knicks will regret not trading for him, even if they win the series. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Head off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid! Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. Happy day, Muse. Today is...
You okay over there? Sounds like you got a little cough.
Today is your day, Muse.
Need some cough drops?
We are really excited for you. You know what? Here at AFR, we fully endorse and celebrate the individuality of every single person, not only that works on this show, but in all of humankind. So as our dear friend Mary Jane Musso over here celebrates today, we celebrate with him. It's your day, Muse. It's your day.
Is this the part where and Mr. Toby Tom play? Is this that part? Or
No, and Mr. Toby Tom plays too.
Thank you.
Paul, you got to check your text messages. You missed an important text there, Paul. Okay. We'll get to it later. Got it. Okay. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. It is April the 20th. It is Christmas morning. It is opening day. It is all of those things today for Muso, and we celebrate with him. We endorse his celebration of today. All right, a lot to get to on the show today. 1 hour from right now, Shelton Sampson, incoming LSU freshman wide receiver. Remember the G team. He'll be in studio with us. Kendall Rogers in hour number 3. We'll begin our SEC spring recaps. We'll head up to Rocky Top, check in with our guy Jayson Swain. We'll start with the Vols and see what they're looking like post Hendon Hooker there on Rocky Top. Had their spring game this past weekend, so we'll start our SEC spring recaps coming up next hour. LSU had its final practice of spring today on Thursday. Of course, they'll play the spring game on Saturday, but this was their last time on the Ponderosa. So the last practice of spring. No media availability at practice, but Brian Kelly did meet with reporters after and kind of gave a little overview of how spring went.
I thought the last 2 weeks were outstanding. Injury-free, practicing the right way, and then developing the continuity that we needed with the transfers on defense and then the young players on offense. I think we hit all of those, and at the same time, I think we feel that we also, through our strength and conditioning program, we're a better football team from a standpoint of all of the returners as well.
The thing that when I listened to that 28-second clip that stood out the most to me was when he said our continuity on offense and our newcomers on defense. Brian Kelly was asked also, can we play number 2, about the spring game from year 1 to year 2. Actually, the only we'll play the whole thing, but it's really the second half of this soundbite, which is really, really relevant in those terms. Because he was asked about the spring game a year ago and the spring game this year. So kind of what's the difference of the expectations? Give a listen.
I think I've made this clear a couple of times, is that I didn't want to get too far ahead in a sense of not focusing on, the attention to detail necessary to build the solid foundation of a program. But at the same time, you want to see cleaner execution. You want to see a preciseness. So I think we go into this with the first unit should look like a first unit top offense in the country. You should go into the spring game going, that looks pretty good. And then defensively, the ideal situation would be the guys that they took out of the portal, they're going to help. Those are really good additions. And so I think if we walk away from those two observations, I think that I would feel good if you guys would write that stuff.
Again, so remember, how spring went. Really, the thing to focus on was continuity on offense and the portal additions on defense. What's going to be the difference spring game, year 1 to year 2? We should look like the best offense in the country or one of the best offenses in the country, and you should notice like the transfer portal additions that essentially they were worthwhile adds. Again, you don't want to just take guys out of the portal to take guys out of the portal. You want to supplement your roster. This is a giant part of roster management in college football today. So you should see those guys on the field making an impact. Remember, almost your entire offense is back. Jaden Daniels accounted for nearly 70% of your offensive production. He's back. Josh Williams, Noah Kane, John Emery, Armani Goodwin, your leading rushers are all back this year. When you look at your receivers from a year ago, Malik Neighbors is back. Mason Taylor is back. Brian Thomas, Kyron Lacey, they're all back. Yes, you lose Kayshawn. Yes, you lose Jeray Jenkins to the draft as well. But you have so much talent at that position. Like, your offense should, year 2, fifth-year senior, year 2 with Mike Denbrock calling plays. You return your top 6 of your top 7 offensive linemen. Like, it should look fluid. The offense should have a day Saturday against the defense. When you're going offense against defense, your offense should win. Now, the flip side of that is you went into the portal and you really hammered the defensive side. And in particular, when we look at, obviously, you're going to be without some of the defensive tackles that you brought in, right? Like, you're not going to see Jordan Jefferson out there. You're going to see Paris Shand, the Arizona transfer. You're not going to see Jalen Lee, the Florida transfer. But you're going to see Ovie Ogofu. You're going to see Braden Swinson, the Jack linebackers. At inside backer, you're going to see Omar Spates. The guy was all Pac-12 at Oregon State. You're going to see him. Big, physical, prototypical inside linebacker. You're going to see him on Saturday. You look at the secondary, like, you're going to see J.K. Johnson from Ohio State. You're going to see Zy Alexander from Southeastern. These guys that you went out and you added at positions of need, and you got experience and talent and depth, those guys are going to be counted on to make an impact. Like, you should notice those guys. Like, those should be the names that you're hearing over the PA, and if you're watching the game on the TV call or they're listening on the radio call, because those are the guys that were brought in to make an impact that are going to supplement this defense at real positions of need. And as I kind of look through it even more, and we were talking about the defense, and in particular the defensive line, LSU's defensive line, I think if we were to say what's the strongest position offensively, I think we would all say wide receiver. I don't know that anybody would disagree with that. Obviously, with Malik Neighbors back, and then you've got I'm trying to think if you would count Mason Taylor. He's a pass catcher, but obviously a tight end. But with Brian Thomas and with Kyron Lacey and with Chris Hilton coming off of injury, and you're going to add Shelton Sampson, who's going to be with us in a little bit. Like, wide receiver is going to be your deepest, most talented spot offensively. Defensively, I would argue the defensive line, and that just wasn't the case a year ago. After Mason Smith got hurt, you rotated 3 interior players. It was Jaquelin Roy, Mekhi Wingo, and Jacobian Guillory. I mean, that's really the extent of your rotation on the interior a year ago. Think about this. Last year, you rotated 3 players on the interior of your defensive line. The interior of your defensive line. And I get it. Like, there was some shifting and different odd looks with it, slide Ali Gay, but just a true defensive tackle rotation. You had like 3 guys. This year, you've got 4 players that have 4 or 5 years of college experience. Jordan Jefferson's in his 5th year. Parashan, Jacoby and Guillory, Jalen Lee, all in their 4th year. So it's 4 guys that are either in their 4th or 5th year. That doesn't even include Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo, who are likely going to be your starters. And oh, by the way, you've got Ty G. Hill and Fitzgerald West and Bryce Langston. I mean, that interior defensive line looks awesome. Deep and talented and veteran. Looks awesome. And then on the edge, you bring in Swinson and Agofu to play the jack. You bring Savion Jones back. Quincy Wiggins can play that big, big edge position as well. Jackson Howard had a really good spring. You've got Deshaun Womack coming in as a freshman. Dylan Carpenter as well. So the numbers at end aren't maybe what they are on the interior, but boy, and that's not even to include, a guy like, Carol Perkins, who we heard from John Jancic earlier this week, is still in certain situations going to move outside and play that jack, maybe on third down, obvious rush situation. So just a lot of reason to be optimistic about this team, and all the reasons why you're getting a lot of talk and chatter about this LSU team. You continue to kind of see it validated there. So Brian Kelly had a lot to say about spring game on Saturdays. I'll put a button on spring number 2 for LSU. A bit later in the show, we'll circle back because Brian Kelly did talk about the quarterbacks, talked about Jaden, talked about Garrett Nussmeier, and then some of the other guys who made the most of their opportunities this spring. So we'll come back to that a bit later in the show. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thursday edition of AFR, brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. Counting down the days in the month, y'all. Remember, all this month, the brand new Evolve X body contouring system. It's the latest and greatest in non-surgical body contouring. Before you get to beach and pool season, take advantage. Those trouble spots, if it's a lot of times your lower abdomen, your flanks, your love handles, butt, thighs, whatever it is, if you diet and exercise just won't knock it out, this could be the answer. And all this month, introductory, limited time pricing just for the month of April. So make sure you check it out. Theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. I have been asked so many times over recent months, hey, man, got an update on LSU and their NCAA infraction hearing and all that stuff? We have an update on the NCAA IARP infraction hearing. We'll talk about that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Springtime is a great time to get by Rouse's because springtime, of course, means crawfish time over at Rouse's. Live and boiled crawfish. You want to handle it yourself? Rouse's has the live crawfish and everything else you'd need to boil crawfish at your house or your own party. But if you want someone else to take care of it, Rouse's is more than happy to oblige with in-house boiling rooms at all of their locations. More than 60 Rouse's locations. Rouse's can handle the boiling for you, so you just pick it up, go, grab it, and eat it. It's at Rouse's. You need all the sides, the fixins, the cold drinks, the beers. They got you covered there as well at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. At Rouse's, they love to say, this feels like home. You walk into Rouse's, and you get that vibe. There's a friendly staff. It's spacious and clean, and they got great Louisiana products as well. When you look at those Rouse's labeled products, they're all sourced locally, so check them out at Rouse's. This feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Not only did she tell us, but this young lady, stand up. And this young lady
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, Live tunes and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, you know, like when you wake up on your birthday, if you look at your phone and like the date on your phone is your birthday, and you're like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Paulie, you ever do that? Or like,
I guess not.
So like,
not really.
I have a summer birthday, so this never happened. But like, you know, when you're in school, and you'd have to like date your don't let that go. You'd have to like date your work. If you're taking notes or you're writing your name on a table, you put your name and the date. Come on, guys, work with me. Okay,
I was letting you explain it. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
You write the date down.
And it's my birthday.
So it's your birthday, you write the date. Like, you're just like, oh, that looks fun. Right?
I never did that anyway because my birthday's always on Thanksgiving break. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about you, Paulie?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. You know, just look down at the audio sheet today that Muso gets to put together for us every day. And he always dates the audio sheet.
Well, it's important.
I never noticed that.
It's important. Of course it's important to date
never
the audio
noticed that?
sheet. So we know what date. Muse got to type up 4/20/23. Do you think he smiled a bit earlier today, Paul, when he did that?
Oh, he absolutely did.
I think he did. Little grin. My guy. Look at him smiling right now.
Y'all are ridiculous.
He's just existing in a perpetual state of happiness today. Ben Harper. Saw Ben Harper at Austin City Limits back in 2009.
Did you, Matt?
I did.
Yeah.
I actually went to see
you
Pearl Jam.
You partake in anything there?
I went to see Pearl Jam. Ben Harper was playing on a different stage, so I stopped and watched a little Ben Harper. He's fantastic. Ben Harper's really fantastic. Yes. And this song's about smoking weed. It's the Muso anthem.
Not the Muso anthem.
I think so. Maybe we'll find the Muso anthem someday today. It's at some point today. I think we just might. Happy day, Muse. Happy day to you. All the people texting in wishing you a happy day. Michael Moore called in to wish you a happy day. Chris Broussard wishing you a happy day as well. Their Muse. It's a picture of a sheriff's car with a bunch of like chips and all kind of stuff on the ground. It's like it's a 420-day trap. That's so good.
It's a bait.
Oh man, that's really good. He called it a Muso trap.
Jeez.
Muse, you just stay in here today, okay? You don't go. You just
I stay in here every day.
You just stay here. Don't worry, we got you, okay? You do what you got. Let's shoot my pen. You do what you got to do there, Muse. All right. We won't let you get in trouble. Speaking of getting in trouble, LSU got themselves in a bit of trouble under former basketball coach Will Wade. And, man, years ago with the Vidal Alexander thing and the Our Lady of the Lake situation, the no-show job, and you all know the story by now. It's been going on for more than a decade. But so Sports Illustrated, a lot of people have asked, and I get asked this certainly weekly. Hey, man, any update on the NCAA stuff with basketball and football? And the answer has just been no, no, no. Well, Sports Illustrated does have an update. Full disclosure, I did reach out to Ross Dellinger today to see if Ross wanted to come on. And Ross, to talk about this, because Ross contributed to the report. Ross said, and I'll read you the text message, as a matter of fact, so I can be completely accurate so as not to misquote him. Ross Dellinger said to me, man, I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'm knowledgeable enough, but you know who is. And I sent him back a pukey face emoji with the word pass. And he sent back a laughing face emoji. Because, of course, who he's referring to is Pat Forty, who is the reporter with this story here. As Pat Forty at SI is reporting that Kansas and LSU have completed their hearings for the corruption case in front of the NCAA panel. I have no desire to ever have Pat Forty on the show. There was a point where I thought he was I used to love his work. And I think he eschewed many levels of journalistic integrity with his reporting on this case, and I have no desire to give him a platform ever. So I'd rather just not talk to him and just use the info in this report and talk about it than actually have him on the show. For those who would like to hear him on the show, I'm sorry. I'm just not ever going to give him a platform. So the report is that the LSU and Kansas have both had their hearings in front of the IARP. The IARP, for those that don't know, is the Independent Accountability Review Process. This was a thing that the NCAA created for the really difficult NCAA infractions cases that their infractions committee couldn't handle. They passed it off to the IARP. Now, with the IARP, there is no appeals process. Once they rule, that's it. It's over. The problem with the IARP is that it has been painfully slow, and they really haven't been punitive in any way. Every school that they've ruled on have basically gotten wrist slaps and nothing else. So the NCAA has said, all right, we're doing away with the IARP as soon as it finishes its current caseload. There's only two schools left, Kansas and LSU. As soon as the IARP rules on Kansas and LSU, it goes away forever. Kansas, of course, and LSU both stem back to that FBI investigation in 2017. We've seen other schools involved as a result, and their case is already closed, from the likes of Arizona with Sean Miller, Rick Pitino when he was at Louisville, Penny Hardaway, who's still at Memphis, and now Kansas and LSU are the others to awaiting a final ruling. So essentially what the report says is that Kansas went before the IARP last weekend. LSU had its hearing in February. So if you look at the precedent set by the IARP, generally it takes about 4 months from their hearings to issue a final ruling in any penalties. So if you're LSU and you had your hearing in February, you would look around June, sometime this summer, late spring, early summer, for a final ruling in this case. So here we are at the end of April. You would assume at some point, May, June, that you'll hear some finality on this, but certainly before next football and men's basketball season. So this should all be done. I will remind you that while both LSU and Kansas, not that we care at all about Kansas in this instance, but both could face a potential postseason ban. Both could have penalties extending beyond that. Coaches, both Will Wade and Bill Self, could have show cause penalties where they're not allowed to coach. I'll remind you, however, that none of the coaches who we just mentioned, Sean Miller, Rick Pitino, Penny Hardaway, none of them have gotten a show cause. None of them have been punished at all. The IARP has done really nothing to any of them. None of the schools involved so far have gotten a postseason ban either. So if you're LSU, you should look at this and go, okay, in this very same case, the 2017 FBI investigation, the 3 schools that the IARP has already ruled on has not issued a postseason ban, and none of the coaches have gotten a show cause. So it's plausible to sit here and think LSU should not have to face any postseason ban. And if you're Will Wade, remember, Will Wade's already been hired by McNeese, and McNeese has announced that they suspended him for 5 games. Remember, McNeese hired Will Wade after LSU met the IARP. So if this reporting is correct, which I have no reason to believe that it isn't, it's citing multiple sources. So my assumption, as I'm sure is the case for many of you, is that McNeese knew Will Wade wasn't going to get any type of show cause. This is something that would pacify the IARP, 5-game suspension to start the season, okay. And if you're LSU, as we talked about for many, many, many months, actually for years throughout this whole thing, was that the NCAA wanted their pound of flesh with Will Wade. LSU fired him once the notice of allegations was handed down. And for LSU, they should be able to get off and go about their merry way. The thing that some of you may laugh at and laughed at the time that may also serve LSU well is in 2020, LSU self-imposed a bowl ban. I get it. It was the COVID year. Nobody cared anyway. LSU was 500. But you could argue that that was maybe enough for football to get off as well. And the other level 1 violation, which are the most serious violations, there were 6 against basketball, 1 with football, and then the dreaded lack of institutional control was the final one because you had level 1 violations in multiple sports at the same time. I would hope that this would all go away. So if you wanted the update, that's it. Courtesy of Pat Forty over at SI. Kansas and LSU have both had their day with the IARP. LSU's was in February. Look for a ruling sometime late spring, early summer. If precedent holds, you'd be looking around June-ish probably. And if all the other precedent with the other schools holds, then LSU basketball won't get a postseason ban and Will Wade won't get a show cause. And if that's the case, off we go after this dreadful, absolutely dreadful occurrence, which has literally lasted for 6 years. I mean, if you think back to the FBI investigation in 2017, which subsequently led to the audio recordings being released and everything that happened in 2019. I mean, this has been at minimum a 4-year process, at maximum a 6-year ordeal. It's gone on for more than half a decade. So it needs finality, and we apparently are very, very close. So that's your update. We'll look for a ruling this summer. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us. Love telling you about Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows. Reliefwindows.com. Check them out. We're heading into the summer months, y'all. You know what that means. With the temperatures getting hotter, your home is going to take longer, and it's going to be more difficult to keep it climate controlled. So those energy bills go up, up, up. Not if you have energy-efficient windows from Relief Windows. They actually have this really cool test where they have a light that they'll shine on a normal glass window and then on their energy-efficient window, and they have like the thermostat underneath it or the thermometer, so you could see the temperature difference with an energy-efficient window from Relief Windows and just a regular old window. And it's how you're going to keep your home more energy efficient, lower your energy bills in time. These windows pay for themselves. Lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. It's Relief Windows. Reliefwindows.com. Reliefwindows.com. Okay, Shelton Sampson in studio 30 minutes from right now. LSU football signee, finishing up his senior year at Calic High, and then he'll be off to LSU this summer to go through summer workouts. We'll have Shelton in studio with us. He's part of the G team as well. So tip of the cap to our friends over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. That's how we had Gavin Guidry in here last month, and then obviously we'll have Shelton Sampson in with us here in about 30 minutes from right now, so we're looking forward to that conversation. And Kendall Rogers in Hour 3. One of the college baseball stories we're going to keep an eye on this weekend is Hunter Elliott, the dynamic freshman lefty from Ole Miss a year ago who helped pace them toward a national championship. He had a UCL injury, thought that he might be lost for the season. Mike Bianco has held out hope that they could get him back, kind of increasing the workload a little bit, and there are some whispers out of Oxford that Elliott could pitch in some capacity this weekend against LSU. So we'll wait and see what that may be, but we haven't seen Hunter Elliott yet, so we'll see if he's able to go at some point against LSU this weekend, and we'll get an update from Kendall Rogers in hour number 3. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll go around the SEC next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers, and Thursday is an awesome day to get by Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Look, every Thursday is all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites. So this is white meat chicken. It's breaded, fried, tossed in your favorite wing sauce, and you can eat as many of them as you want all night long, every Thursday at Pluckers for one low price. So Thursdays are a great night. Remember, you got the NBA playoffs every night of the week. So tonight, you got Phoenix and Brooklyn. You got Sacramento, Golden State. Philly and Brooklyn, Phoenix and the Clippers, Sacramento and Golden State. So 3 NBA playoff games tonight. You've got Major League Baseball action tonight as well. So if you want to watch the NBA playoffs, MLB, if you're in the NHL playoffs, Zurich Classic going on this week, the best place to watch all of it in one place is at Pluckers. And on Thursday, it's all you can eat boneless buffalo bites. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Pluckers, you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $15,000 off all new 2022 1500 SCA trucks. And all new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of WR.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right.
Let me blow your gun until that ganji just choke you. I smoke weed back to back like a brother smoke.
Further review with Matt Moscona, Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yeah, Muse, sometimes when we talk about things off air, you got to know the difference between when we're just joking and when we're not.
Well, it was the radio
I didn't
edit.
literally mean play dime back.
It was the radio edit.
I mean, I get it. It's 420, and we're having fun making fun of you and your weed habit and everything. And we're going to play, friendly pot songs.
It was the radio edit.
Like Ben Harper, Burn One Down, and some Bob Marley. All that stuff is fantastic. Dime Bag is not exactly, I think, where we were looking to go today.
It was the radio edit.
I get it.
That version plays on radio.
Just because there aren't expletives or they're edited out doesn't mean the content and style of the content is exactly what we're trying to put forth today on this family-friendly show. Like,
hey, it's legal in most states.
Veiled weed references are okay. All right, that's kind of the point of the fun of the bit. They're veiled weed references, right? Like Ben Harper saying "burn one down," Herb is from the earth. Like, adults know what that means, kids don't. When you have Dime Bag and it's blaring like everybody smoking chronic, like smoking blunts, blowing up, like that's a little more aggressive.
I don't know if kids know what that means. Like
it's a little more aggressive.
A kid who's going to understand the Ben Harper stuff's going to get that.
There is no argument to this. Muso, stop it. Dime Bag is definitively more aggressive than Ben Harper. Okay,
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying the reference can be understood. I mean, when you were 5,
it's not the point. The point is we're going to avoid super aggressive weed songs, and we're going to stay with kind of like friendly pot.
So
smokers,
no Colt 45 is what you're saying.
Well, Colt 45 is about drinking malt liquor. That's not even about
two
weed.
Zigzags.
But it's about the name of the song is Colt 45.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, there's weed references in it.
You call them zigzags?
No, that's in the song.
No, I know, but is that what you call them?
No, I don't have them, so I have no reason to call them anything.
That's what it sounds like.
And also in that song, he says, "As the marijuana burns." Like, there's very many weed references in that song.
Yeah. Oh, you see?
But I mean, so no. Okay, Colt 45 is a great song. Everybody
he always knows where they are. Paulie.
So no Colt 45.
So that's
is that where we're going? Is that one too aggressive?
Paulie.
Yeah.
You always know where they are when you know where they are. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can find them all. Because you've listened to them all while you've been token, right?
Absolutely.
We got you, Muse. We got it.
No.
Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Baby, that's all you need. You can go to the park after dark.
Here comes another one.
Smoking that tumble.
There you go. I mean, huh?
I love it. It's so
but
good.
It might be too aggressive, so we won't do that one.
Yeah, that's probably a little too aggressive as well. Yeah, for sure. Let's just keep it with friendly, like just friendly potheads that just don't want to hurt anybody and just want to be out there, just with their hemp and just enjoying, just not bothering anybody. That's what we want. That's
probably say
vibe.
Smokers. Potheads pretty aggressive.
No, I'm okay with potheads. I think that's acceptable.
Okay,
it's completely acceptable. Yeah, you pothead fucker. There he goes. Look at him. Look at him.
Good movie. I love that movie.
You know what I don't love? You know what I actually hate? The executive director of, I didn't know, there was a bowl executive director. Did you know college football has a bowl executive director?
No.
The bowl season executive director is a man named Nick Carparelli. I mean, I knew every bowl game has its executive director.
Makes sense,
Bill Hancock is the executive director of the college football playoff. I didn't know that the collective bowl season had an executive director, but they do. It's Nick Carparelli. And Nick Carparelli confirmed that college football officials have decided to keep the bowl lineup at 41. No new bowls will be added this year. And I am really disappointed about that. And I know the argument, and you've heard me talk about it here forever. A lot of you sit there and say, well, bowl games have gotten out of control. There's too many bowl games. How are you letting 5 and 7 teams in bowl games? It's supposed to be a reward. No, it's not. That's where you step in it. Bowl games were never meant to be a reward. They were a way for old dudes in ugly jackets to make money basically framed as a charitable endeavor, but that's all they really are, is just a money-making mechanism for old dudes in ugly jackets. That's it. And they have corrupted college football's postseason forever. But for me, all I care about is watching football. Do you realize we ache for 7 or 8 months for college football? We sit here from January through August just talking about every bit of minutia surrounding college, every angle of college football that we possibly can. The season comes along, and then you're telling me in December, after championship weekend, and when all the Final Four is set, you're going to have more football for free to watch, and you're going to, turn your bet? You're going to decline the opportunity to watch more football throughout the month of December? Why? It's free football. It's something to bet on. It's a Tuesday in December, and you're going to give me the Bahamas Bowl? I'll take it. You're going to give me a game at Fenway Park where you got Louisville and Cincinnati, where one team hired the other team's coach a week before, and now they're playing each other in a bowl game? Yes, I'll take that drama. Thank you very much. Give me bowl games. I will never understand, ever, the thought of there being too many bowl games. If you're going to give me more football, opt-outs be damned. I don't care about any of it. Just give me more football on TV. Middle of December, all the angst about spending too much money during Christmas. You got nothing to do during the week because all of a sudden you had football every night of the week, and now you don't have football every night of the week, and they're trying to give you more, and you're like, I don't want it should be a reward. A reward? Is the Cheez-It Bowl a reward? You got a dude just dressed up like a giant Cheez-It with a bed in the end zone. Wasn't that the whole thing with the Cheez-It Bowl? Like the mascot was like in a bed in the end zone. Like, what are we talking about here? Just give me more football. All right, it's after further review. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
A third Auburn player will test the NBA draft water. Senior forward Jalen Williams still has a year of eligibility remaining. He will maintain his eligibility in case he wants to return to Auburn for a fifth season. Johnny Broom and Wendell Green have already declared for the draft. Williams, 6'8", one of 4 Tigers who averaged double-figure scoring this past season.
Texas A&M!
University of Illinois Chicago men's basketball guard Jace Carter has committed to A&M. He's got 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. Had a bunch of offers. Arkansas, Clemson, Michigan State, Missouri, Ohio State, Oklahoma, a bunch of others. 6'5", 215-pounder, averaged 16 points and 7 boards per game. Biggest question now for A&M is, will Tyrese Radford come back for his final season of eligibility?
The Florida Gators.
Redshirt freshman offensive lineman David Connor has entered the transfer portal. He was a mid-year enrollee in 2022, but he broke his thumb in fall camp, required surgery, missed the season, took a medical redshirt. Latest blow to a shrinking Florida offensive line.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Wide receiver Caden Pope, the redshirt freshman, he announced his decision to enter the transfer portal after he made just 3 catches his freshman season. Originally chose the Bulldogs over Auburn and Tennessee. He was the 21st best player out of the state of Tennessee, the 89th wide receiver in the country in the 247 composite. He's in the portal.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas wide receiver Landon Rogers also in the portal. He was a 3-star quarterback when he signed with the Hogs, but then moved over to play wide receiver. Made just 1 career appearance for Arkansas during the 2021 season. Razorbacks have now had 18 players hit the portal.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And cornerback Traquan Fagans has entered the portal as well. He's got 4 years of eligibility remaining. He was a 4-star in the class of 2022, rated number 117 overall. Originally committed to Miami, flipped to Alabama, but did not appear in a game as a true freshman. Took a red shirt this past season. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Again, online at gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Oh, by the way, When I was doing around the SEC, and the first story that I got to was Auburn's Jalen Williams declaring for the draft. Can we all just make an agreement and understanding that if Jalen Williams does, in fact, turn pro, that he has to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder? I mean, this should be mandated. Can the rest of the NBA, can we agree to this, like that the rest of the NBA just allow this to happen? Be it draft or free agent, no one else touches Jalen Williams?
I'm in agreement, yes.
Of course, there are two Jalen Williams presently on the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's the big-haired loser from Arkansas who took all the charges and is a flop artist. And then that's Jalin Williams. And then there's Jalen Williams, Jalen Williams from Santa Clara. This would be tricky because Jalen Williams from Auburn spells it the exact same as Jalen Williams from Arkansas, the big-haired loser who flopped all the time.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to see it. I want to see three guys with the same name on the same team.
I mean, I feel like you'd have to put his full name on there, right?
Middle name as well?
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be really strong.
Because, you mean like on his jersey?
Yeah, because you know.
Oh, you can't fit it on a basketball jersey.
You could try. You always see like whenever someone their name is separated by like a couple, they put a couple letters on there like JA or like JAL or
right,
the last name. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But if it's spelled the exact same way, maybe he's got a nickname they could put on the back.
I think at this point that doesn't even matter. Like, and you couldn't fit it all on the jersey. Even like. I mean, like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, his entire hyphenated Gilgeous-Alexander's on the back, and it goes from goes from like hip to hip. It's a rainbow. Like, there's no way you could put a middle name on there. I just want to see it, just to see what would happen. Like, imagine calling what do you do? Do you do like college, like affiliation? That's Arkansas Jalen Williams. That's Auburn Jalen Williams. That's Santa Clara Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams to Jalen Williams, who passes it off to Jalen Williams in the corner. Back to Jalen Williams.
Dude, a fast break with all three would be so good.
I mean, it's impossible. Poor radio guy. You got no shot. I mean, TV, at least you got the picture to see who it is. If you're trying to call, if you're the play-by-play man for the Thunder, and you have three Jalen Williams, I mean, two has got to be darn near impossible to keep differentiating. But three?
I feel like actually it's easier for the home radio guy. What about the away radio guy? Like, what happens when Graf goes there to make a call?
Oh, that's so good.
I mean,
that's so good. I want to know what Graf does. Graf, when the Pels play the Thunder, because I know he's listening right, so I'm talking to an audience of one. Graf, when text me or call me in the break or something. When the Pels play the Thunder, what did you do this year with the Jalen Williamses? That's what I want to know. And what would you do if there was a third Jalen Williams at Oklahoma City? That has to happen.
You got to go middle initial, right?
I guess.
So you could do that on the jersey.
Kind of like Stephen A. Smith.
Okay. Damn it, Paul. It was logical.
Unless they have the same,
see, the thing with
middle
Paul
name.
is Paul.
What if they had the same middle, like the same initial at least in the middle name?
Paul never talks. But when he talks, you know he has something relevant to say. Something profound. I mean, this guy over here. But at least he goes along with all the weed jokes. All right, it's after further review. We'll wrap up hour number one next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company all in one place. You know where to find them, agent225.com. That's agent225.com. I run through Darren's accolades all the time, and why not? He's worthy of them, and his team is awesome, and they get your results. But, man, the thing that I tell you most about Darren James is you got a guy that is going to take a supremely stressful experience for most people and do his best with he and his team to take all of the stress out of it. Whether it's a $1 million house, a $100,000 house, or anything in between or beyond, Darren James is going to make you feel like you are his only customer, you are his only client, and he's going to get results for you. 335-7666, that's Darren's cell. Call him, text him right now. That's Darren James' cell. You want to text him? Text him. 335-7666. Call him right now. Darren and his team, top in Baton Rouge for ESP Realty, top in the state of Louisiana. Call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TD to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench anytime.
Let's dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
And leave it to old Mary Jane Musso. He's going to find all the deep cuts on 420, isn't he? Attaboy.
It's a great song.
Attaboy. It is. R.I.P. R.I.P. Shout out to Tom Petty. But not the Florida fans, who are all...
Yeah, they stink.
Who are all jerks. Every one of you. I was hosting Chuck Oliver's show today, so this is actually going to be pretty odd. If you're listening on 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge, I'll be on here from 3 to 6 Central, and then we'll have Ott, and then I'll be on from 8 to 10 p.m. for the replay of the Chuck Oliver show. And I talked about this on Chuck's show, and somehow this fell through the cracks here. I missed this. But our buddy Ross Dellinger at SI had a sit-down with Mack Brown. And Mack Brown bemoaned the current model of college football with NIL. I'll just read you this quote from Mack Brown very quickly. He said, "We're the NFL. We're the mini NFL. It's just like the NFL. That's where we're headed. We will never see amateurism again. It's gone. I hate it. I thought that's who we are, what college football is. Now we're a farm league for the NFL. With many NFL programs, we're headed toward an NFL model." He went on to talk about NIL and said, cheaters cheat. People who used to give inducements are still doing that. It's just called NIL. The stupid thing about it's not pay for play. Why are you paying them? They're not paying them for nothing. It is what it is. I wish we would stop hiding behind NIL. Okay, couple things. Hey, Mack Brown. Amateurism has never existed in college football, ever. Okay? The powers that be in college football aren't hiding behind NIL. The powers that be, or the cheaters, aren't hiding behind NIL. the powers that be in college football forever have hid behind, with the NCAA, the notion of amateurism in major college football, when literally since the inception of college football, the point was to make money with a free labor force. LSU has that 1908 national championship it doesn't claim. Why? Because there were reports of professionalism on that football team 115 years ago. So please spare me the nonsense about amateurism. It was never the case. That's number one. Number two, North Carolina has a endowment north of $5 billion. If you want to be great, you can be, Mack Brown. And college football has always been a breeding ground for the NFL. Kick rocks, Mack Brown.
AFR.
We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, maybe you got that high school grad in your home and you're looking for that first vehicle, that graduation present. You want to get something that is affordable and that's safe, but also something that's stylish and fun to drive that they're sure to love. You got to go check out South Point Volkswagen. The Tiguan is the compact SUV. You can get a Passat or a Jetta, the four-door sedans. Great options there as well. Of course, tell you all the time about the Atlas, the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. The Crossport is what I now drive. Takes out the third row on the Atlas. A little shorter, a little sleeker on the back, but all of the technology. Panoramic sunroof, digital dash display, power everything. You got to check it out. Test drive one today at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. It's been more than 2 years since a judge ordered the East Baton Rouge Parish School System to pay a woman for an at-fault crash their employee caused. The public entity hasn't paid a dime, and since then, taxpayers are on the hook for thousands more because interest adds up for each day that they remain out of compliance with the judge's order. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of WR.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. 3 NBA playoff games tonight. All of them are Game 3. Coverage of the Nets and 76ers starts at 7 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Philadelphia leads 2-0. In Los Angeles, Suns and Clippers with the series tied. Kawhi Leonard is out for the Clippers with a right knee sprain. And Phoenix coach Monty Williams is trying to manage minutes for his stars.
I think I have a decent feel for when guys are tired and exhausted. When I feel like they're approaching exhaustion, then I got to make a move. Kevin got so mad at me last night because I took him out. I'm thinking of the final push and him being fresher.
Monty Williams also tonight, Kings and Warriors with Sacramento leading 2-0. There's a Stanley Cup playoff doubleheader on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern with Game 2 for the Lightning and Maple Leafs. Toronto winger Michael Bunting starts his 3-game suspension tonight. He checked Lightning defenseman Eric Chernak in the head in Game 1. Tampa won that game. The second game on ESPN will be the Kraken and Avalanche in Denver. Seattle took Game 1.
Coming up Friday as Donovan Mitchell gets ready to play in the Garden. I'll tell you why the Knicks will regret not trading for him, even if they win the series. Keyshawn J. Will and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. LSU baseball. Oh, by the way, Shelton Sampson, we're just running a few minutes late, so we'll do the Shelton interview in the next segment. Jayson Swain at the bottom of this hour. So we'll do a quick LSU baseball segment here for about 8-10 minutes. We'll break and we'll come back. We'll have Shelton in studio with us. Tip of the cap to Jordan Thompson. Named today a member of the Brooks Wallace Award watch list. That, of course, is presented annually to college baseball's best shortstop. Alex Bregman won that award back in 2013 during his freshman season, as you might remember. And Jordan Thompson is certainly worthy. He has been every bit an All-American caliber defensive shortstop. He has had a clutch bat his entire career at LSU, and he has been, in many ways, one of the pounding heartbeats of this LSU baseball team that's number one in the country and pacing to a great season. And when you have a season like this, oftentimes is when, as they say, the old saying goes, to the victor go the spoils, you're going to win a lot of awards. Like when you think back, I guess most recently to 2019 LSU football, I mean, you won the Heisman and the Blitnikoff and the Butkus. Well, not the Butkus, but I mean, you won I'm blanking, but the secondary award, the Thorpe Award. I mean, you won the Coach of the Year award. You won the Assistant Coach of the Year award. You won everything. I mean, the offensive line trophy. I mean, you won them all because you were the best team, and to the victor go the spoils. So you're probably going to see this sort of stuff for LSU and their baseball team this season, where you're going to have a lot of guys win awards, because when you're this good and this talented and put up these kinds of numbers, you're going to win a lot of awards. So get used to that. LSU and Ole Miss this weekend from Oxford. It's a 3-game series. LSU has announced its rotation. Ole Miss has not of yet announced its rotation. For LSU, it will be the same as it was a week ago. Paul Skeens will go game 1, Ty Floyd will go game 2, and then Christian Little will go game 3. There is something worth watching, and that is going to be whether, and it's becoming a little bit of a broken record, but whether this weekend here and in Oxford are going to be something that we have to keep an eye on, because what you don't want, as we said so many times the week of the South Carolina series, the worst case scenario would be start the game on Friday, have it stopped because of weather, and then you burn Paul Skeens, which is exactly what happened against South Carolina. He pitched 3 innings. You were trailing 3-1, then he was done for the weekend. Well, I'm looking at it right now. There's a 90% chance of thunderstorms in Oxford, Mississippi tomorrow, and the rain is looking like it's going to start around 3 a.m., and it's looked like it's continuing all throughout the afternoon. So will it clear in time to play that game at some point tonight? I don't know. But the good news is, at least unlike in South Carolina where the weather came after the start, the weather will be before the start, the projected start time. So you'll have a much better sense at the scheduled time of first pitch whether or not they're going to be able to get that in at the time of scheduled first pitch tomorrow. So scheduled for Friday, game 1, scheduled for 6:30 first pitch with LSU and Ole Miss. We'll see what weather may do tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, there's one other thing I want to talk about from an Ole Miss perspective. I'll get to that in a second. Let me remind you about Shawbills. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com, where they will always sell you name-brand tires at wholesale prices. I say that every day, but their price match guarantee is a great indicator of it. Buy tires at Shawbills. If you find those tires anywhere else at a cheaper price, Shawbills will make up the difference, plus a percentage. You can learn more about the price match guarantee at ShawBillsTire.com. Family-owned and operated since 1968. Of course, they have their full automotive service over at Shawbills, but they will sell you name-brand tires at wholesale prices. So go to the website, hit the promotions tab, and you'll see every promotion that they have going on at Shawbills right now about how you can save on the best tires on the road and get them the cheapest price possible. It's at Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, Shelton Sampson's in studio here in just a minute. The other gigantic storyline that we're following, and I'm going to ask Kendall Rogers about this when he's here in hour number 3. Of course, Kendall from D1 Baseball.
AFR.
Is we're not going to break yet. So I know that. I know it fired. It's okay. It's okay. I just want to tell our affiliates down the line, don't go to break. And that wasn't even I'm not even going to joke. It wasn't even Musa's fault. He was at the other computer. It just fired. The other thing that we're going to keep an eye on is what happens with Hunter Elliott. Of course, Hunter Elliott was at the stretch run last year for Ole Miss in their championship season. Dylan DeLucia and Hunter Elliott, that was their 1-2 punch. I mean, that's what paced them throughout their national championship run. Hunter Elliott has not pitched since the opening game of the season against Delaware. He had forearm tightness after the game. You know, generally that's an indicator for the UCL, as dreadful as that is. I mean, say what you will competitively. Nobody wants anybody on any young person to go through this. But he was diagnosed with a UCL sprain. One of their relievers, Riley Maddox, underwent Tommy John surgery last year. So it's something that obviously they've been through before there. But Mike Bianco said this week that he could get both of them back on the mound very soon. And there's some whispers that Elliott could pitch in some capacity against LSU this weekend. So what does that mean? When you haven't pitched and you've been in this sort of rehab protocol since February, including not throwing at all, they shut him down like to 0 for 3 weeks after the injury. And now he's been in sort of like a structured program for the 3 weeks since, you know, and working up to like bullpen and live batters. What does that mean? Like, if they do put him into a game, how deep can he even be expected to go into that game? But they're hoping at Ole Miss that they'd have Hunter Elliott in some capacity against LSU. Maybe it's literally something as minimal as what we saw from Javen Coleman on Tuesday night, where he threw just to 3 batters in the first inning. And if that's all they can get, that's something. But it is something worth watching, because if Hunter Elliott is Hunter Elliott, he's a difference maker. And that's something worth keeping an eye on this weekend, and we certainly will. Okay, it's after further review. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm going to knock out a quick break. When we come back, Shelton Sampson, incoming freshman wide receiver 5-star for LSU, will be with us here in studio. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Right now, springtime, it is gorgeous outside. This is the time to get by Clegg's. This is the time to get in the garden. This is the time to just plant something. If it's flowers or plants, if it's trees or shrubs, perfect time to plant that citrus tree. If you want to get that in your yard, something that you and your family can enjoy for years and for future generations, they got them at Clegg's Nursery. The best selection, the friendliest staff, the most knowledgeable staff. Maybe you want to make your yard look more plush so you can win Yard of the Month or Yard of the Year. Clegg's can help you get there. And remember, whatever type of honeydews you're doing, if you need to find a hardware store, Clegg's is part of a True Value hardware store. So anything you'd find at a True Value hardware store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, support a great local business. That's Clegg's Nursery. Remember, tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $15,000 off all new 2022 1500 SCA trucks. And all new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
The most valuable player probably that is the unsung hero through the entire playoffs, Jayson Williams. All my exes live in Texas. Texas girl from the Big H right here.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com. All right.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like Vans customized.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, LSU Spring Game Saturday. They'll have some early enrollees, but some of the other freshmen won't be on campus until June. Like the guy to my left, Shelton Sampson from Cali High. Don't worry about it, dude. I do that all the time. The thing is, people either love it or they hate it. So either way, that's why I keep doing it. How are you, man? It's good to see you.
I'm good.
Man, you're looking good. How you feel?
Feeling good.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So spring practice going on right now. You're almost about to graduate. So you were telling me May 4th, right? Mm-hmm. So two weeks? 2 weeks from today?
We graduate May 20th, but the last day is like May 4th.
So the last day of school is May 4th, which I think is 2 weeks from today. It is 2 weeks from today. And you're almost done. That's pretty wild. What have you, like, so the football team, the LSU football team is going through spring right now. Like, what's a day like for you? I mean, are you doing any, like, on-field work right now?
Yes, sir. I mean, I get out of school at 2:45, and then I just go work out or do homework, whatever.
So are you working out at Catholic? Or can you have access to any of the LSU facilities?
Well, no, I can't work out like with the team, but like if the players or if the receivers and the quarterbacks doing any training, I could just go train with them, but not like any team activities.
Right, like not with coaches present or anything like that. So give me a sense of what a day is like. So you finish school, like what's a normal day like for you as far as your work?
Well, now I just started going back to LSU for therapy. My finger, I just got surgery on my finger again.
Okay.
So after school, I'll go to LSU, and then I go work out. Then I go home, do homework or whatever.
Yeah. So for those who are listening, not watching, it's your right pinky. So was that like that was from the season or something like that?
Yes, sir. Well, I had surgery on it 3 times. I heard it right before my junior season, and I'm still dealing with it.
What'd you do?
Tore a ligament, like down the middle.
How do you tear a ligament in your pinky? Like catching the ball?
No, I did it like my finger got caught in a face mask.
Then you would think like receiver would be one of those positions where you probably aren't going to be at, like that's a lineman injury, right? Like you're using your hands so much, getting people's pads and everything like that. But I mean that doesn't look too serious. So you'll be back for ready to roll. Shelton Sampson's in studio with us, of course, on behalf of the G team. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys, great sponsor, great partner of ours here on AFR, and of course the G team keeps growing and growing and growing. We'll talk about that in just a bit. I mean, I want to talk a little bit, if we can, about we talked when you committed, which was that, about December or so, or it was before the season? It was over
when I
the summer.
committed, I committed in August.
Yeah, before the season started, you committed. But as LSU goes through the season, you couldn't sign until the November signing period. Right. Were you still contacted a lot by other schools? Like, were there teams that just continued to stay on you?
I was contacted a lot, but I was locked in, so I wasn't really like trying to have any communication with no other school.
What's your relationship been like with Brian Kelly?
I mean, it's there. Like my relationship there with not just Coach Kelly, but Coach Hankton, Coach Sloan, Coach Jordan Osman. Like I got a relationship with all those guys.
Yeah. What made you feel? I would assume like they made you feel comfortable wanting to stay home and all stuff. What was it about those guys that stood out?
Just what you say, they made me feel comfortable. Like, I mean, this already home, but I feel like it's home at home.
So I mean, look, obviously, I think most people who are from here remember, like, I played against your dad. I don't know, maybe it make me feel old now, but like, remember your dad playing a Redemptorist, obviously, and so you're a Baton Rouge guy. Like, do you remember growing up like loving LSU? Was that like always a thing for you?
Most definitely. I mean, I'm from Baton Rouge, so I mean, what kid grows up in Baton Rouge and don't like LSU?
That's a good point, man. That's music to a lot of LSU fans' ears when they hear that. So, did you strongly consider other schools as well, or was it just always locked in on LSU when they offered?
I wasn't always locked in. I had an open mind going into it. So I mean, I took officials to Florida State. I went to Texas A&M, Alabama.
AFR.
But I mean,
sorry about that.
LSU just felt like home to me.
Yeah. Shelton Sampson is in studio with us. I want to ask you also about, man, like the day when you really popped and got on everybody's radar. Like it was the COVID, when y'all did the COVID combine over at Catholic. And remind me what you ran. It was like a 4.2, 4.3?
4.35.
A 4.35. You say it like so. I'm like a 4.35. And were you in tennis shoes?
No, I was in cleats.
Oh, you were in cleats. Oh, so you're still in cleats though. Yeah. Still. You weren't in track shoes. You were in cleats. Okay. Did you know you were going to run a 4.3?
Nah, that was my first time ever running the 40. Like I was just winging it.
So no training, no preparation. You just got down, ran a 4.35, like hand time. I remember we talked to Gabe Fertitta about it after, and he's like, there were like 4 people who had it all hand timed. It was totally legit. Like all the clocks matched up, 4.35. You run 4.35. It's on video. It's on Twitter. Everybody sees it. And then all of a sudden the offers start coming. What was that like for you?
It was crazy. Like that was the craziest day of my life. After the combine, I went home. Then it started that day. Like I got Virginia and Mississippi State the same day. That's when it hit me. Like it was real.
I think most people could look and say, "Man, a big tall dude running 4.3." That was going into your sophomore year, right?
Right.
So you were a freshman in high school at the time. Right. Yeah, I would imagine that pops off a little bit. What was it like for you to watch this LSU football season? Like you're committed. It's year 1 under Brian Kelly, and they win the West. They beat Bama. Like, what was it like for you to watch it?
I mean, it was just amazing. Like, from the first game to the last game, it was just growth. Like, you could just see the growth throughout the whole season. So I'm excited to be a part of that.
were you at the Bama game?
Yeah.
Did you rush the field?
Yes, sir.
How could you not, right? Like, if you
Right.
don't rush the field, you're getting trampled. So,
Right.
did, like, any souvenirs, pictures, what'd you take away from it?
Yeah, I got some videos on the field with Emory.
Yeah, that's right, man, for sure. Teammates.
Yeah.
That'd be good, man. Y'all be teammates again. Shelton Sampson's in studio with us here, incoming LSU wide receiver, finishing up his senior year at Catholic. Got 2 weeks left of school. And then, so when you finish school 2 weeks from today, can you start working out with the team then, or do you have to wait till like June?
I got to wait till I graduate.
Okay,
That's when I'm eligible.
so you'll when you graduate at the end of May, then you can start doing your conditioning and all that sort of stuff. But in the meantime, I'm sure Coach Flint is giving you like a workout regimen or stuff to do that the team would be doing otherwise. Can you communicate with him, or just like, here's a binder of stuff you have to do?
That's what it was. It was like, well, it wasn't a binder. It was electronic, but same thing.
Right. It's 2023. Nobody gets a binder anymore. It's like, here's your iPad, or here's the file that you use. Right. But so he's just giving you the workouts to do.
Sir.
So talk to me then about your physical development. So from the end of your senior year, like height, weight, strength, lifts. I mean, where have you seen growth in those, say, since the end of the season, in those 4 or 5 months?
I say my biggest growth since then is like getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what my main focus has been.
Is that what they told you? Like how much? You're 6'3", 6'4"?
Mm-hmm.
So how much do you weigh?
190.
So you're 190. Is that what the coaches have told you they want you to play at as a freshman? They want to get you bigger?
I mean, I'm gonna get bigger, like just from being in college. But I mean, they ain't really tell me what weight they want me to play at. But as long as I come in at like 190, I should be good.
And man, you go eat Pluckers and Canes and Wiener Schnitzel, and you're gonna put on some weight in college. So we all do. And then you get old like me, and then you just keep putting on weight, because that's what happens to humans as we get older. Have you thought about any of the when we started, you were talking about working out with with some of the players, like not coaches, but like player led stuff. Are you running, catching passes with Jaden or anything like that right now?
I have once or twice.
Yeah. How'd it go?
I mean, it was good. Getting the feel for it.
Yeah. How long does it take, or what is that process like to get timing, right? If you're like for a quarterback and a receiver, I would imagine that's the big thing, right? I mean, you have to get used to catching passes from him. He's got to know like when you're going to break, speed, all that stuff. So how long does how much of a process is that?
I mean, it's just chemistry. It takes time, reps, like just repetition.
Do you feel like game 1 against Florida State, you're going to be ready to be on the field and contributing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Would you have like freshman season goals?
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to see the field, really. That's my goal.
Yeah. So
to get on the field somehow.
Did you play any special teams at Catholic at all?
Kick return.
So you return kicks. Would you want to return kicks at LSU?
I mean, yeah, I'd definitely be down for
Okay.
it.
What about covering kicks? If that was something that said, man, this is a way to get on the field.
Any way to get on the field.
You would do anything like that. It's awesome. Shelton Sampson's with us, member of the G team. I want to talk a little bit about that as well. Look, Gordon's our guy. He's been great to us. And, man, he's done so many NIL deals with not only just players at LSU and different sports, but all over the place. What's it been like getting to work with him?
I mean, it's just been a blessing. Like, it's just a blessing to have the opportunity. I mean, it's all love. They show love. We show love back. I mean, communication, everything's there. Like, no flaws.
Yeah, he's a great dude, man. Have you gotten to do grubbing with G yet?
No, not yet.
Are you going to do it?
He brought it up last time I met with him, though.
Do you get to pick where you go eat, or does he pick?
He told me I get to pick.
Where are you going to go?
I told him Raul's.
Okay, so right there on campus?
Yes,
okay, man. Like, I mean, Gordon's got a little cash. You could probably go, you could probably go get you a steak or something somewhere if you want. Say, hey, G, let's go to Ruth's Chris. I mean, he might be down with that, something like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, I only ate at Ruth's Chris one time, so, like, that's not really one of my favorites.
You can make it number 2. You can go find a new place. But a simple man said, just take me to Raul's. Let's go get a burger right there on campus. I love it. Hey, man, wishing you the best of luck. I know a lot of people are really excited that you're going to be a Tiger and see you in purple gold. Before you go, anything else like this summer, expectations or things that you're keeping in mind, school-wise, balancing any of that sort of stuff? Any of that stuff giving you any kind of pause, having to bounce? School is so much. You're going to be leaving high school, going to college, taking classes, working out, all that sort of stuff.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge, but, I mean, challenge I'm ready for.
Yeah. Shelton Sampson, man, I appreciate you for coming in studio. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
I love it, dude. I love it. If you end up going Catholic, LSU, and then one day maybe the Saints, you'd hit the trifecta for me. I could just cheer for you your whole career.
Yes,
I'd love to see it, man. Congratulations so far, man. We'll be pulling for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Shelton Sampson in studio with us. It's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, our guy Jayson Swain, former Vol, he's going to be here with us for our SEC Spring Recap. We'll take a look at how Tennessee did up on Rocky Top this spring. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Want to take 60 seconds to remind you about River City's 1 hour air where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. I always share great 5-star Google reviews. This one came in from Jasmine Williams about Joseph, the technician who came to her house. She said Joseph was very informative, explained everything before he did it, also gave me multiple options, and was very professional. So one thing about River City's 1 hour air, they're never going to pressure you into any type of service. They're going to lay out what's wrong with your system and how you can fix it. Short-term, long-term, what all of your options are, and then let you choose in a no-hassle, no-pressure situation. It's River City's 1 hour air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. You can't miss them, and give them a buzz. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $25 off any system repair. At River City's 1 hour air, 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $2,000 off MSRP, plus 2.9% APR for 84 months on new 22 Ford Expeditions. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The SEC Spring Recap on after further review. The Tennessee Volunteers.
Not the most pleasant sound for LSU fans after this past year. Vols with a pretty incredible year under Josh Heupel, but what is life like without Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, and the rest of them? Let's head up to Rocky Top. Our guy, Jayson Swain, former VFL, I guess always a VFL, former Vol, I guess we could say. How are you, Swain?
I'm great, man. Sorry about that game there in Baton Rouge. I didn't think it would go like that. I know that Rocky Top is pretty annoying for you guys down there.
That's all right. Baseball series went just fine, and I'm sure Tennessee will just revert to what you've always been for the last 20 years and just suck again real soon. So we'll look forward to laughing at you at that. Hey, no, for real though, Swain. Well, look, people here are very high on Hendon Hooker. A lot of people want the Saints to draft Hendon Hooker. So replacing him, I would imagine there's a little bit of angst. We saw Milton in the bowl game. I mean, is that the answer? Is this Joe Milton's team now?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone knows Tennessee went out and brought in Nico Iamaleava, the 5-star phenom, number one in the overall rankings there on 3. But Joe Milton is the guy. You saw what he did in the Orange Bowl versus Clemson. Tennessee was unable to run the football a lot in the first half, but when it's time to throw the football, Joe Milton was accurate, threw some darts. There's not a more talented quarterback in the country than Joe Milton. He throws the ball unlike anyone I've ever seen. Anyone close to that would probably be Jamarcus Russell. He has an unreal ability to throw the football. He started a couple times in his career. In Michigan, bench there. In Tennessee, bench there. But I think he's learned a lot from those experiences. And what I've seen from him this spring, what I've seen from him during the Orange Bowl, and last year in mop-up time, he's a different quarterback. So he's the guy.
So he's the guy. Who else coming out of – look, we talked about you, right? Jalen Hyatt is off, to the NFL. Who else is there on that offense to carry the load? Who's going to be responsible for the production this year for Josh Heupel?
Well, I mean, all the running backs come back. I mean, Tennessee's a team that ran the ball 55% of the time. Many people look at Tennessee's offense and think it's all pass and some air raid. That's the furthest thing from the truth. So you get all your running backs back. You do lose Darnell Wright, who should be a top 15, 20 pick, one of the best tackles in this draft. You lose Jerome Carvin, who's a senior guard. Everyone else is back. And that's a problem, though, because you're trying to replace some guys that did a really good job for you last year in Darnell Wright and Jerome Carvin. So Tennessee went to the portal. They brought in a couple guys there. They may go back into the portal after spring. So that's going to be kind of the concern. How do you make sure that the offensive line does not have a significant drop-off? Cooper Mays is your center, so he's returning, doing a good job of anchoring that offensive line. And then your receivers, you lose Tillman, but Tillman didn't play last year, and Tennessee put up major yards. You do lose Jalen Hyatt. His speed will be missed. But we talked about the slot position, a position where the year before that, Velus Jones was a second-round pick and had a monster year too. So whoever plays the slot position, they'll get their yards, they'll get their catches because that's the offense here with Josh Heupel. So Brew McCoy comes back. He had a pretty. I think he had a big catch against LSU last year, big catch against Florida and Alabama in the bowl game. So he's coming back, number 15. You get Ramel King coming back. And then Tennessee went to the portal and got Thornton from Oregon, who some people say he's just as fast as Hyatt, but he's bigger, 6'2". And so receiver won't be a problem. Tight end depth is a concern, though, because you have a freshman, you have a senior, and then you have a transfer. So offense really should be rocking and rolling again, except for the offensive line. And then it's hard to expect anyone to be as good as Hendon Hooker was last year, though.
Yeah. I mean, look, Swain, listen, man. we talked about it here. The fact, even with the injury, the fact that he wasn't in New York for the Heisman presentation was absurd.
Sure.
I mean, it was. But look, he was awesome. Everybody knew it, and he was great. And you replacing a guy like that who is the guy there's always questions that are going to surround it. But you're right. Josh Heupel's an offensive guy. The talent is there. They should churn. Flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. What are the biggest questions defensively coming out of spring for Tennessee?
Dude, you watch that LSU Tennessee game. I mean, it's the secondary. I mean, LSU receivers had some drops in that game. Should have had a lot more yards. Tennessee struggled all year long with pass coverage. You had some injuries in the back end. But Tennessee brought in 6 guys, whether they're high school players or from the portal, to try to help the secondary. But the defensive line has to be better, too, to create opportunities for the secondary, put pressure on the quarterback. And then linebacker, you lose Jeremy Banks, but Aaron Beasley was a guy who had a breakout year last year. He was unstoppable against Clemson. He's back. You went out and got Keenan Peely, linebacker from BYU in the portal. They really like him a lot. So the linebacker group is going to be better. The secondary should be better. And then losing Byron Young is tough because he's a really, really good player off the edge. So since he may go back into the portal, there's an edge player available. But I think defense should be better, man. I don't know how it could be worse. It was pretty bad. Put a lot of pressure on the offense last year.
Well, still, when you're a team that found itself in the playoff conversation into November, when you still struggled on one side of the ball like that, it's indicative of how good you were on the one side of the ball. But when I look, and Jayson Swain is our guest. He's on Twitter at Swain Event. Y'all give him a follow. He and Josh Ward host Josh and Swain on the Sports Animal up there in Knoxville. I think for me, Swain, we could talk about positions and talent and what's missing and where they need to grow, all that sort of stuff. It's all true. For me, when I look at Tennessee, it's really just, look, you had an amazing season. Have expectations changed in Knoxville? And what are the realistic expectations for this team?
I think double-digit wins are expectations that Josh Heupel's comfortable with. I mean, he spoke at the Caravan. I mean, they do different Caravan stops within the state in the last couple of days. They did Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville today. But yesterday in Nashville, they embraced the expectations. They want the outside noise to be loud with expectations. That's what he's comfortable with. And those guys don't back down from that. Those players don't back down from that inside of that building. But you look at the schedule. I mean, you get Texas A&M as a Western opponent, replacing LSU. Alabama's going to be tough. Georgia's going to be tough. So, man, no reason why Tennessee shouldn't win 9 games, in my opinion. I mean, so you're looking at kind of the same opportunity, give or take a couple plays here in different games.
If they get to 9-3, is that acceptable? I mean, is that a good season, an acceptable season that people are excited about?
It depends. It depends on what happens. I mean, it's hard to say and go, yeah, we'll take that record. But, like, what if you were up in those games where you lost and you had a complete meltdown? You had some eras where coaching is questioned. I mean, I don't think if you lose those games, people are going to be happy about losing them. So, I don't think people here expected 11 wins last year at all. And there were a lot of people upset about the South Carolina game.
Yeah.
Because Tennessee just got demolished and didn't look like we were ready to play for 60 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great season, but people here are still pissed about that game.
That is, look, that's indicative of changing expectations, man, when you expect higher. Look, man, I know when fall rolls around, conversations change and rosters change and there's injuries and there's a lot of things. Between now and the start of fall camp or the start of the season, what would you say is the biggest question for the 2023 Vols? Like, if they can get that question answered, then whatever the ceiling is for this team, they can reach it.
Well, you got to be lucky with injuries. I mean, that's something that you can't control. So every team, you want to be lucky there with injuries. And then I don't expect Joe to be Hendon at all. I know Hendon had a profound effect on Joe for sure and helped him be a better quarterback, a better leader. But if you can get the offense to be really good. Don't have to be as great as it was last year. You get the defense to be better, but not as bad as they were last year. You get more of a balance this year, then I think this team could be really good. But I think offensive line protection is probably the biggest question from now going into the season. Josh Heupel mentioned the offensive line and possibly going out and getting a player in the portal yesterday at a Caravan event. So if he is mentioning that, I'm sure that's something of note that we should pay attention to going into the season.
Why do y'all stink at baseball now?
Tennessee? What? Tennessee baseball?
Yeah.
Man, it's rough right now. I don't know what happened. How was Tennessee so good last year and so bad this year? I don't know how that happened.
I mean, the whole lineup is gone. I mean, that's a big part of it.
Oh my gosh! Well, I mean, the pitching staff is all back and
I know.
supposed to be really, really, really good and having some trouble so far. And it's been shaken up in the last couple of games. I watched the LSU Tennessee game 1, man. That atmosphere down at LSU, I got to tip my cap, man. You guys down there, my goodness, that is how you show up and show out for your baseball team. That was very, very impressive.
Hey, bro, it's been like that for 35 years here, man.
Well, dude, I just started watching baseball. I didn't even like baseball, to be honest. Tennessee made me like baseball, honestly, the last couple of years. But I like college baseball because I love these players with their personalities and bat flipping. And it's a shame the Florida pitcher was ejected for silliness and has to be suspended. I think it's silly. It's 2023. Let these guys have a little bit of fun. You can do that and still respect your opponent at the same time. But LSU, man, hey, got it rolling. Don't be like us last year. Don't be the best team in the country and fail to get the job done.
Hey, man. Vanderbilt at Tennessee this weekend. I don't know that it's going to go so great for the guys in orange, man. It's going to be a rough weekend, dude.
Man, I tell you what, these two programs, it's been a lot of built-up hate over the years. I'll just tell you that. So I know Vanderbilt is licking their chops because there's blood in the water here in Knoxville. And we'll learn a lot about this Tennessee baseball team. Playing at home, it's one thing to get beat on the road, to struggle. But you can't let somebody come in your house and put their foot on your couch with muddy boots on and say, F your couch. You can't let that happen. You got to show up, and you got to have some pride, man. So we'll see a lot about the Tennessee baseball team this weekend, man.
Swain, you're the best, man. Miss talking to you. Hopefully I get to see you this summer up in Nashville at Media Days, man.
Hey, man, love you, man.
I love you too, Swain. All right, bro. We'll talk to you soon. All right, man. That's Jayson Swain, VFL. One of our favorites, man. I love talking to Swain. He's so good. I didn't even get a Jamarcus joke in because he gave props to Jamarcus at the beginning of the. So Swain was a receiver at Tennessee. I think 06 would have been his last season. So the year when LSU beat when LSU beat Tennessee in Knoxville. Jamarcus threw the game-winning pass. There was the touchdown got called back to penalty when Jamarcus went airborne at the pylon. Flying through the air like Superman. I love to send that screenshot to Swain all the time. He's like, man, Jamarcus cheated, bro. He was just cheating. That's just all he says. He's joking, but appreciate Swain. Getting our SEC spring recap started, so we'll hit every SEC school here over the next couple of weeks. Just wanted to start there in Rocky Top because I think they're a fascinating team this year, man. I mean, they're coming off a season unlike they've had in nearly 20 years. I mean, really since Philip Fulmer was fired, they haven't had that level of success up there in Knoxville. And Josh Heupel had them ranked number 1 in the country at one point, and we know the injury bug bit them late, and they kind of unraveled. And they lost the game to Georgia the way they did. The South Carolina game was that something else? But that's a team that's got a lot of talent. How was the foundation laid? Are they able to build upon it? They got to go to Tuscaloosa this year, and Texas A&M is their rotating cross-divisional. They get that game in Knoxville. They play Virginia in the non-conference as a Power 5 opponent. So there's there is a manageable schedule there for Tennessee. They got to go to Florida, but of course you got Georgia on the schedule as well. So there are manageable spots in that schedule, but there's also pitfalls. I mean, it's plausible to look at Tennessee and go, man, they could be an 8-4 football team this year, but. How does Heupel handle success and potentially build upon it? All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by Mold Zero USA. Mold-0USA.com. Mold-0USA.com. Y'all, we're going to get rain this weekend. It's supposed to rain on Friday. Tomorrow it's supposed to storm. the combination of humidity and rain, that's a breeding ground for mold. It's why mold is common in the South and certainly in Louisiana. If you have an issue with mold at your home, office, commercial building, apartment complex, whatever it is, look, you can call them remediation companies or other companies, but a lot of them are going to come in and they're going to cut sheetrock and they're going to pull out carpet and do a lot of disruptive type things. Or you can call Mold Zero. Minimally disruptive. Come in, they'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog, not cutting sheetrock or any of that stuff. You let the fog dwell. Once it dissipates, boom, you're back in. Mold's killed, odor's killed, all that stuff. You're ready to roll. Completely safe for pets, for plants, for family, for everybody, and it's minimally disruptive. It's Mold Zero. Mold-0USA.com. Mold-0USA.com. Okay, it's after further review. If you want to get involved, you always can. You can email us, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. Tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, George. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. Okay. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. Kendall Rogers, D1 baseball in about 30 minutes. I do want to ask Kendall for an update on Hunter Elliott, the star lefty from Ole Miss, who we might see in some capacity this weekend. So we'll talk some college baseball with Kendall Rogers. I'll get his thought on that Tennessee-Vanderbilt series as well. And Zurich Classic underway today in New Orleans. Drew Brees is down there, met with the media. They was asked about Derek Carr. So what did the GOAT think about Derek Carr? You'll hear that coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. Lot to do. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
Love telling you about the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge's original skyscraper is the Watermark Hotel. The old Louisiana National Bank building in downtown. So much of the history of that building has been preserved. So you walk in and it's like a time capsule that's been modernized. It's awesome. If you haven't seen the Watermark, it's the finest hotel property in the city. You got to go check it out. Whether it's to stay a night in downtown Baton Rouge, you have family coming in town, or you want to enjoy a cocktail at the lobby bar, which is a great spot in downtown Baton Rouge. If you're going out in downtown, just stop into the lobby bar at the Watermark. And remember, the restaurant in the lobby is the Gregory. Fine dining in downtown Baton Rouge. Trust me, get the duck entree. It is magnificent. One of the best things I've ever eaten in this town, honestly. It's at the Gregory inside of the Watermark Hotel where they have a charcoal fire. They cook on a charcoal fire every single day. It's incredible. It's the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. It's been more than 2 years since a judge ordered the East Baton Rouge Parish School System to pay a woman for an at-fault crash their employee caused. The public entity hasn't paid a dime, and since then, taxpayers are on the hook for thousands more because interest adds up for each day that they remain out of compliance with the judge's order. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get him now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of WR.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCoRoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364.
So what? I keep them rolled up, sagging my pants, not caring what I show. Keep it real if you don't know.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we are wrapping up hour number 2, and glad to have you hanging out with us. Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
A lot of baseball to go through today. We'll start it off with Josh Smith getting some run. Getting some run at shortstop for the Rangers now, thanks to an injury. He went 1 for 3 last night, 2 walks, so 3 trips around the bases, 1 run scored, making the most of that opportunity. Alex Lang back on the mound for the second consecutive day in relief for the Detroit Tigers. It was a shutout inning, no hits, did walk 1, struck out 2. Really hot start to the season for Langer, 2.08 is the ERA.
Attaboy, Langa.
To the minor leagues. We'll start in AAA. Huge night for Hunter Fiducia. 3 for 5, 2 runs scored. His 4th home run of the season. 4 RBI and a walk. He's hitting .438 right now in AAA.
Was Hunter Fiducia ever in the everyday lineup at LSU?
Yeah, that was when you didn't really have a kind of that revolving door at catcher a little bit. It was him, Saul Garza. They kind of platooned it.
I bet he played fewer than a dozen games.
No, it was more than that.
He started fewer than a dozen.
Okay, that's maybe fair, but he was definitely played more than a dozen. It was a platoon.
Because it was Garza, and who was the other catcher that year?
I know him, and then I think it was really those two. Look that up. You like that?
Hey, host of the... Look that up.
Look that up.
While I do the job over here.
I'm doing my segment.
Look that up.
Hey, look, I got to tell you about Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill got the start last night for the Spokane Indians. 2 innings pitched, so it was a brief night. Did walk 3. Only gave up a run, though. Struck out 2, but because his team didn't score much in the game, he got tagged with the loss. That kind of stinks.
Was that 21?
No.
19,
I think it was 18, 19, that era. Zach Watson, 2 for 4 last night. His 2nd home run of the season for the Bowie Bay Sox. 3 RBIs on the night for Watson, and he would score a run. The Wilmington Blue Rocks were in action last night. Todd Peterson.
Ted Peterson.
An inning and a third shutout. 2 hits, didn't walk or strike out anybody, but a solid outing nonetheless for Todd Peterson. You know who they were playing, Matt?
This is my favorite day ever!
They were playing the Brooklyn Cyclones.
What? You mean to tell me I get Todd Peterson?
Ted Peterson.
Against the Brooklyn Cyclones?
And Paul Gervais pitched in the game.
I don't care.
No, but you should.
I don't. I'm actually mad at Paul Gervais. He said he was coming back and then he left. I'm pissed at him.
But he's with the Cyclones.
I get it, but we were just going to pick any random player with the Cyclones.
Better. He pitched a third of an inning.
Hunter Fiducia started 48 games.
It was a lot.
You said it was fewer than a dozen.
That's what you said.
And you agreed.
No, I said he played more than that. They platooned at catcher.
I said he started fewer than a dozen, and you were like, yeah, well, that's probably right. 48 starts.
2 walks for Gervais. He got a blown save. He didn't even give up a run. That's stupid. Sam Burns and Billy Orser are 8 under par. 2 shots off the lead at the Zurich. Ben Taylor, his partner, they're even. Curtis Thompson shot even on the Corn Ferry Tour. That's Tigers in the Pros. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If you're going to get engaged, go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gift in the little red box.
I'm busy, Muse.
Birthday, anniversary, all those things work for it, really.
LMFJ.com.
AFR.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Tomorrow when I'm working out at Traction, I'm going to tell Tev to blare Cyclone.
Such a good song.
Get me on the bench. Is that Baby Bash?
It's Baby Bash.
Give me Baby Bash, play Cyclone, give me the 100-pound dumbbells, and let me go rep out. Knocking it out of the park. You want to get bigger, stronger, faster? Traction can help you do it. Traction is where champions are made. You go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. As a matter of fact, when you go to TractionSports.com, you'll see the links for athletic performance. You want to get bigger, stronger, faster? You can. Their baseball training program. There's links for pro athletes and for the elite PT. I tell you about all the time. If you're not a professional athlete, but you love to golf or jog or swim or do ancient athletes, but injuries have got you out and you need to get back in the game, Traction Elite Physical Therapy will get you back in the game. You choose where you get your physical therapy. Choose Traction, where champions are made. Go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $15,000 off all new 2022 1500 SCA trucks. And all new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Ochsner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 7.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. In the NBA playoffs tonight, Game 3, 76ers and Nets in Brooklyn. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. The Sixers are up 2-0. The Kings are up 2-0 against the Warriors with Game 3 in San Francisco tonight. No Draymond Green for Golden State as he serves a 1-game suspension. ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
This is like a golden opportunity for the Kings, and in a strange way, the pressure is on them a little bit. There'll definitely be pressure on Domantas Sabonis. We know that every step he takes is going to be watched closely by the officials, and definitely the crowd is going to be all over him.
Brian Windhorst on Get Up. Also tonight, Game 3, Suns and Clippers in Los Angeles with the series tied. Kawhi Leonard out for the Clippers with a sprained right knee. The Diamondbacks designate lefty Madison Bumgarner for assignment. They'll have to pay $34 million, still on his contract. And the Oakland A's sign a deal to buy land in Las Vegas where they plan to build a new $1.5 billion ballpark.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Matt King sent a text and said, Matt, I've been listening for 20 minutes and April 20th hasn't been mentioned. Disappointed in this show. Matt, where have you been? Like, it's every single bump song we played all day have been 420 interwoven. We've had plenty of conversations throughout the entirety of the show. It's your fault if you're not missing if you are missing these subtle undertones and some of the not so subtle undertones about Musso and this being his day.
Don't show up late either. Come
yeah.
on.
Where you been?
Been here for 20 minutes?
Yeah, you've been here 20 minutes.
We've been on air for 2 hours,
yeah,
bro.
Way to go, jerk face. You know we call you? You know we call you in the real world?
What's that?
Fired.
Yeah.
I was going to say late, but you're 2 hours late. You're fired.
Fired. Show
up, guy. What's your name? Matt King. I don't want any of this excuse about you being at a job either.
Yeah.
Work. We got important things to do here, like make fun of Musso for being a pothead. And then you jump in here expecting us to talk about Musso being a pothead, and we've been doing that all day. You're late.
Been doing that for like the last 2 years.
That's true. Our guy, Jerry DeLucky, said, happy 420, Musso, and he sent a gif of Cheech and Chong.
Shout out, Jerry. Saw Jerry last night.
Shout out. Jerry DeLucky. It's my guy. Let's see. Oh, you know, do you have Afro Man in the queue for today?
It's coming.
Okay,
I mean, we said no Colt 45, but we got another one, yeah.
Well, because I got high.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
That just means because someone texted about that. Jonathan Rayburn said, Cypress Hill, want to get high? Could do that. Shout out Elizabeth Pendarvis. Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh, well, that's next.
How did we not?
I don't know. As much as we
it's just
reference,
about the boy and his magic dragon. Oh, you thought Puff the Magic was about a boy?
Why don't you ask Denny who's puffing the magic dragon?
How did they get past your? What is this?
Your CIA or something. Yeah.
Okay. Matt King. He's texting me live. My fault. Put the job first. That is your fault, Matt King. Don't you come up in here being all accusatory and whatnot, saying you're disappointed in us. I'm disappointed in you. We're collectively disappointed in you, Matt King. Yeah. Been here for 2 hours and 5 minutes making weed jokes.
Like you got to make a living or something.
Yeah, stop it. You know what? If you got to do that, that's fine. But then don't come up in here guns a-blazing like we were doing something wrong. You're the one who's doing something wrong. All right, it's after further review. By the way, tomorrow's AFR from the Zurich Classic, and we may be the only people there. The weather is going to be horrendous. For what it's worth, this is official from the Zurich Classic. Due to the threat of inclement weather, all Friday tee times have been moved up 1 hour and 20 minutes. So the first tee time on Friday now is going to be at 7:20 a.m. There at TPC of Louisiana. So I love going down to Zurich. It's one of my most fun shows of the year whenever we get to set up there at the Walk-Ons tent on the 17th green to watch some of the best players in the world come and make that turn, the par 3, 17, and then the long par 5, 18 to finish. It's a ton of fun to be there. They're so hospitable to us. Usually we have beautiful weather. There was the one year that they were like the tornado sirens were going off and they made everybody evacuate the course. But tomorrow it's gonna be a little different, man. Like because of the weather, we may they may not be playing golf when we don't know. All the tee times are moved up. Hopefully they're able to get it in. But scheduled to be down there at Zurich tomorrow, provided they let us onto the course, do the show and all, depending on what the weather does. But we'll have a contingency. Otherwise, we're planning on being down there. What is the leaderboard looking like right now, Muse? Day one.
So they're almost done. Actually, day one's almost in the books. Keith Mitchell, Sung JM, they're part of a. Excuse me. They're part of a four-way tie.
Got a little choked up, did you?
Yeah, a little bit. Part of a four-way.
You took a little toke. You weren't expecting me to come to you.
Part of a four-way tie.
What happened there? Look at Paulie laughing. He knows
at 10 under par atop the leaderboard there. Brother duo of Matthew and Alex Fitzpatrick, which is always cool. They're 10 under. So four-way tie there. Mentioned it in Tigers in the Pros, but Sam Burns and Billy Horschel, they're two back. Shot 64, 8 under today. So really good, man.
All right. So again, tomorrow, first tee times for Zurich Friday moved up to 7 a.m. Central Time because of the threat of inclement weather. Again, AFR scheduled to be at Zurich Classic tomorrow. We'll have a contingency if the weather forces us off the course or whatever the case may be. So, but we're looking forward to tomorrow's show. All right, we're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. If you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, there's a way to do it. Now, when I talk about Williamson, remember, it's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. You want to have your annual eye exam? You can do it at any of the Williamson locations, including the newest location in the River Parishes down in Lutcher. Eyewear. If you do wear contacts or glasses, they'll sell to you. All their locations have optical shops. You can buy your frames. You can buy your contact lens from the Williamson Eye Center. But eye surgery, refractive surgery, if you want to live your life without contacts or glasses, there's a way to do it, and the Williamson Eye Center makes it happen. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Speaking of the Zurich Classic, so on Wednesday down at the Zurich, Drew Brees was there, getting around in before the pros got going. And Brees took some time to meet with the local media, and naturally a lot of the conversation trended toward Derek Carr. As you might recall, Derek Carr, before he signed with the Saints, did speak with Drew Brees about the Saints, the organization, the city, all of that sort of stuff. So naturally, Brees would have a lot to say about the Carr situation, and Brees likes where his former team is with their current quarterback.
I think it's a great move for him and the organization. I think he'll mesh well with Pete Carmichael. I think he's got some weapons around him. Excited that Michael Thomas is going to be back and hopefully healthy. Man, he deserves that. And look, I think that they're going to be well positioned to make a run at it.
It's what you'd expect for Drew to say, right? He's in a position where he doesn't have to be unbiased or impartial. He's not in the media. He can be a total fan, and he can love his former organization and be a fan of Derek Carr, and that's all great. as I mentioned, though, they did speak before Derek Carr signed with New Orleans, and Drew kind of alluded to why he thought this was the best opportunity for Derek Carr this year.
I think for him, leaving the situation that he was in and getting a fresh start was going to be a good thing anyway. But he's stepping into a situation where it's a great organization. It's an organization that will do whatever it takes to win and build the pieces around it, right? That's been proven. He has weapons at the receiver position, at the running back position. He's got a great defense, still a top-tier defense, and a defensive-minded head coach, but with an offensive coordinator that's been in this system now for almost 20 years, right? So it just has all these things going for him, and I think he's at that point in his career too, where it's that balance of enough experience and still playing at a high level, having all your physical capabilities, and now here's the opportunity to really go and showcase.
A lot of what Drew Brees said there is absolutely true. Good, stable organization, offensive weapons. I believe the defense can still be great. They got a lot of work to do, especially up front, as we've talked about a lot. The pushback, though, is when you talk about the weapons, and you talk about the situation in Las Vegas, you got to remember, Las Vegas went and signed Devontae Adams, Derek Carr's best friend, college teammate, all the stuff, who at the time, you could have made an argument was the best receiver in the NFL. They had Darren Waller. They had Foster Moreau. They had Josh Jacobs, who had an amazing season this past year. It is disingenuous to say that Derek Carr didn't have weapons in Las Vegas. He did. Now, they didn't win. Maybe you could put it on the head coach. Well, are you really going to say that the situation in New Orleans with Dennis Allen is dramatically better than Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas? It's a couple of retread head coaches that failed miserably in their first opportunity. It's actually very similar. So I don't know that I can get there. Now, the last thing Drew talked about, though, is on principle, I do agree with.
I've always had a lot of respect for him. Always thought he was a fairly underrated player. Probably didn't get the respect that he deserved. Obviously was in a tough situation there with the Raiders.
That's another one. I'm sorry. That was him talking about that he bore the brunt in Las Vegas unfairly. That's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted.
Look, I watched that Tampa game, and I about threw something through the TV. I was so pissed off at the end of that game. Like, we should win that game. We had 3 opportunities to win that game, right? And if you win that game, we win the division. And we were hosting a first-round playoff game. And who knows what happens, and then we're having a totally different conversation, right? But literally one game, one moment, one play can determine so much of your season, especially when you're kind of right on the fringe of, being winning a division or being a wild card or what have you. So we're there. I mean, we're that close. We just need to catch some breaks, need to win some games that we're supposed to win, maybe win a few that we're not supposed to win, have some plays that just become defining moments for the season.
So I can totally relate, because the expletives I yelled when the Saints lost to Tampa, most notably the ejection and the subsequent busted play, we're talking about the first game in the Dome. I literally got so hoarse. If you go back and watch shows that week of AFR, I didn't have my voice for a week. That's how loudly I yelled and stringed together expletives at that moment. Yes, I can still be a fan when I watch games. I just try to give you objective commentary. But the problem is, even if you win that game and you make the postseason, you win the division, but you win a bad division and you make the postseason as a bad team and you lose in the first round, just like Tampa did. And where are you? That is going to continue to be my point with the approach the Saints are taking. Are you better in 2023 with Derek Carr than you would have been without him? Yes. Yes, you are. Are you in any way contending to win the NFC and go to a Super Bowl? No, you're not. You're not even close to that. And you won't be with Derek Carr. That's the problem that I have. Okay. But it's always good to hear from the GOAT. And it's good to hear him say I want to throw stuff through the TV and say we when talking about the Saints. I love it. He's ours forever. And he loves it too. Okay, it's after further review. Quick break. When we come back, let's talk some SEC baseball. Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, will be with us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by ProCharge EV. Was talking to the guys, Terrio and the guys over at ProCharge. They were down at the River Center the past 2 days at the Clean Fuel Summit for Louisiana. We're actually meeting with the governor of Louisiana, John Bell Edwards, was there talking to the ProCharge guys. Remember, it doesn't really matter if you drive an EV or how you feel about EVs. The reality is EV drivers are increasing on a hockey stick curve, and the production is increasing at that rate, and people are going to drive EVs, and they're becoming more and more plentiful, and they have to have chargers. So if you're a commercial business, you're in a commercial building, it only makes sense to have an EV charger or chargers at your place of business. You can learn more at ProChargeEV.com. ProChargeEV.com. It's a local company. They have inventory. They can have you installed in a couple days. And this month, they're giving away 3 free chargers. Learn more. ProChargeEV.com.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Not only did she tell us, but this young lady, stand up. And this young lady
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of WR.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and Joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right. There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
From the request line there, courtesy of Elizabeth Pendarvis. Shout out. There's a little Puff the Magic Dragon here on 420. Muso celebrates every day, but especially today on 420. Puffing that magic dragon. It's just the boys' pet dragon.
Not true. What are you talking about, Greg? It's the name of the boys' magical dragon.
Oh, you butthead Fogger? Oh, man. All right. Kendall Rogers of D Whatever from D1 Baseball joins us on Thursdays. Hey, man, how are you?
You guys are in rare form. By the way, wasn't that song what Todd Peterson came into the game to?
Ted Peterson. Yeah. By the way, you don't know this, but at the end of hour 2 every day we do a segment called Tigers and the Pros, and our friend Muso here kind of gets us caught up with what all the former Tigers are doing in their respective leagues. And today, so literally just 20 minutes ago or so, we did have an update on Todd Peterson. Ted Peterson.
Very nice. Speaking of former Tigers, I did see that Hunter Fiducia had a massive night the other night at the plate.
Right, it's hilarious. We were having this conversation,
Does
Kendall.
Kendall listen?
Are you listening
to the show?
Are you listening? So
I have not. So in all honesty, I have a bet with David Seifert, our prospect writer. I had a bet that Hunter Fiducia was not getting the big league. He guaranteed that Hunter Fiducia is getting the big league, and I think he's going to win.
Kendall, I mean, we literally were talking about this 20 minutes ago. And
that's hilarious.
I'm serious, because I told Muse, I have no recollection whatsoever of Hunter Fiducia playing baseball at LSU. I could not tell you a single game moment, anything that he did at LSU.
He's like the player form of year 2020. Like, nobody remembers it.
Kind of. Yes. I mean, it's just I went back and looked, and in 2018, he started 48 games.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He started the whole damn season. I don't even remember the guy.
Yeah, I don't really remember his college career either. I just remember David Seifert was telling me, like, hey, man, you bag on him, but, he's got really loud tools, and just wait, he's going to be in the big leagues. And, I mean, he's probably going to get called up in the next couple of weeks.
He's hitting 400. He's hitting 400.
He's too good for AAA, man.
It's incredible. Anyway, shout out Hunter Fiducia.
There's hope for Alex Milazzo out there.
Wait, what's that?
I said there's hope for Alex Milazzo out there to be a big league.
Hey, bro, Milazzo's hitting 320. I mean,
I know exactly.
He's handling. He's not going to hit for power, but he's handling the stick, man. Anyway, let's. I had ideas of where I wanted this conversation to go, and now I just have no idea what's going to happen.
Now we spent 20 minutes talking about Hunter Fiducia
and Puff the Magic Dragon and all this whatever. But that was entertaining. It's probably more entertaining than anything we were going to talk about otherwise. Is Hunter Elliott going to pitch this weekend? What can you tell us?
That's what they've said. I mean, I've heard from different sources in Oxford that he will pitch this weekend. I mean, I will say this: there's part of me that wonders, if they're actually intentionally putting that out there to make it seem like, oh, he might actually pitch against LSU to kind of, maybe try to mess with Jay's plans a little bit. But either way, I mean, it does sound like he's tracking towards coming back, and maybe that's the one thing that Ole Miss needs to kind of get rolling is get their bell cow on the mound back, see if they can go on a little bit of a run here at the end of the season, because I still think they're dangerous. I mean, I get it. They've won 3 conference games. It's easy to go, oh, man, those guys are garbage. But, I mean, if you put Ole Miss's lineup in any conference in college baseball, I mean, they're scoring a lot of runs on people. And granted, their pitching hasn't been very good. But this isn't some team that just lacks talent. They're just garbage. They're just not winning baseball games. And so, I don't know if getting LSU is really the recipe you want to turn your season around, but I have no doubt, they'll play their tail off, and there's this faux outrage over Paul Skeens, and I'm sure they'll try to use that as a rallying cry. But I would like to see Hunter Elliott back. I think it'd be cool to get him back and see if those guys can make a little bit of a run.
I don't know if you've considered this at all, but there's supposed to be bad weather in Oxford, and it could maybe delay the series. Is that a benefit to either team if they delay tomorrow or they have to end up playing a doubleheader Saturday or anything like that?
I think it's a benefit to Ole Miss if you get delayed. Because I really think doubleheaders, and again, I'd have to go pull stats on this, but I just feel like in doubleheaders, if you're a team and you can find a way to claw out a first game of a doubleheader, and I get it, people are going to go, well, I mean, they're going to have to face Paul Skeens. There's no way they're going to win. But, I mean, all they got to do is get Paul Skeens out of the game. I think they would have a shot. So, hypotheticals, let's say they get Paul Skeens out of the game. Ole Miss upsets LSU in the first game. Well, all of a sudden, the whole dynamic of the series changes because you go in the second game of a doubleheader, and Ole Miss is feeling good about itself. LSU's kind of like, oh man, like we lost those guys first game with Paul on the mound. And so I just think the mentality of the series is a little different. So I think if you're LSU is by far the better team right now. So you really want the series to go kind of as planned.
When you look at LSU, we've talked so much about what's not there on the mound.
Yeah.
This week they get Javen Coleman back, and he looked really good. Does that dynamic change your opinion about LSU at all if Coleman comes back in some large capacity?
It does. I mean, I think back to when he, had a larger role for this team in the past, and I mean, he was a guy that had a big time breaking ball. If I remember right. I mean, it's been a couple of years, but he had a big time breaking ball, and had a fastball to 92, 93 from the left side. So I think it definitely really helps. Obviously, at this point, you'll take what you can get, especially when you look at Chase Shores, and obviously it doesn't sound great on Chase Shores, but you look at Garrett Edwards being out. I mean, you want as many quality arms as you can get, and he clearly, when he's healthy, he's clearly a high level, high leverage bullpen arm.
Kendall Rogers is with us on Twitter at Kendall Rogers, D1Baseball.com. Projections are out for the field of 64. Y'all still have LSU at number 1. Look, I mean, they lost a midweek game. I'm going to spare you all the dramatics. But, I mean, did you all consider, after the Kentucky series and losing the midweek game, docking LSU at all?
We considered it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, our whole ranking system is based on weekends. And LSU, they continue to win a weekend. I think I brought this up with you a few weeks ago, but it kind of reminds me of the year that LSU beat Alabama 9-6 in football. Like, it was the ugliest freaking game ever. But like, if you're an LSU fan, like, that's one of the highlights of the last 15 years of LSU football. So, like, yeah, it's ugly right now at times, but guess what? They're still winning the most important games. And at the end of the day, whether you can argue about it all you want, that's all that matters. And so, does that mean that LSU isn't without some holes? No, that doesn't mean that at all. But what it means is they're still winning games. With that said, I mean, do I think that Wake Forest probably looks like the more balanced team right now? Not necessarily the most star power, but the most balanced team right now? They probably are the most balanced team right now. That doesn't mean they're necessarily the best team overall.
I want to talk about the weekend in the league. Tennessee stinks. Why do they stink?
It's kind of a three-prong answer on this one. I mean, if you look at Tennessee, they're clearly, and you saw it, they're clearly a much different offensive team they were last year. I mean, they've got, I think, 2 guys with double-digit home runs. Last year they had like 7 or 8.
Right.
Defensively, they're one of the worst teams in the league defensively. And Chase Burns, the freshman All-American from last year, has an ERA over 12 in the league. Chase Dillinger's ERA is around 5 in the league. And Drew Beam wasn't very good last week. So, your offense isn't very good, your defense is terrible, and your pitching staff, your star-studded weekend rotation, has been garbage. So that is kind of the recipe for not so much success. And, the thing about Tennessee that I just kind of wonder is I kind of feel like this is, we've said this with so many teams this year, but I kind of feel like this is their last stand this weekend. Like with Vanderbilt at home, if you feel like Tennessee's going to turn the corner, they're going to have a packed house at Lindsey Nelson. You feel like if they're going to turn the corner, it's going to need to start against their rival this weekend. And so I think that series is fascinating. I think we're going to find out everything that Tennessee's made of this weekend against Commodores.
I'm going to stay in the East. South Carolina, Florida is a top 10 matchup, number 3 against number 6. Break this one down for me, Kendall. What are you expecting to see this weekend with the Gamecocks and the Gators?
Well, I think the biggest thing in this series is like who closes for Florida. I mean, their closer is suspended for 4 games for yelling "Let's go" on the mound. So, Florida doesn't have its closer. Don't get me started on that. That's like a 20-minute conversation beyond a Hunter Fiducia combo. But I think there's going to be a lot of offense in this series. I just think when you look at these two teams, you look at Ethan Petrie and Cole Messina for South Carolina, and you look at Jack Kaggs and Kate Kurland and Wyatt Langford for Florida. I think this is a series that's going to be very, very offensive this weekend at Founders Park. I think I lean South Carolina at home, but I think Florida's really good too.
I always ask you something outside of the SEC, a storyline this weekend. What are you keeping an eye on?
The absolute hot mess the Big 12 is right now.
Wow.
So Baylor, God bless them. like Mitch Thompson's honestly done a really good job. But, you know, they brought in like 36 new players to their roster with such garbage. He honestly thought coming into the season they weren't going to be very good at all. And yet they're like their last place, and they are 3.5 games out of first place. So that gives you an idea of just how bad this league is right now. You know, Texas leads the league. I think Texas is a little bit of above average. Texas Tech's RPI is in the 60s. Oklahoma State's almost down to 40 in the RPI. So I just like the Big 12 for me, like something's got to give. Like I think these teams are better than they're showing. But as of right now, I mean, they wouldn't even get a top 16 seed outside of Texas.
Wow.
And even Texas RPI is down 20-21. So you're in a position where this league may not get a top 16 seed this year. It's kind of mind-blowing when you consider they're a top 3 RPI conference.
He is Kendall Rogers, D1Baseball.com, D1Baseball.com. Great time to go subscribe up. We've hit the halfway point of conference play. LSU and Ole Miss 3-game series this weekend there in Oxford. Follow him on Twitter at Kendall Rogers. Thanks, dude.
You got it, buddy. Be good.
All right, man. I thought we'd get a Todd Peterson on the way out, so I'll
Todd Peterson.
I'll drop it for him there. How about that? So we had a bet with someone on D1 Baseball staff about Hunter Fiducia making
The way things work out sometimes.
How do
I mean, the first person he brings up is Hunter Fiducia.
How in the world? Like, Muse, I'm serious, man. Like, I watch as much LSU baseball as like anybody. I mean, I watch every game. I'm present. I'm in it. I'm talking about it every day. There is a black hole in my brain that is Hunter Fiducia. I just have no recollection of ever talking about him or like on the show or, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
part of conversation.
I mean, I know we did because catcher was such a hot topic at that point, though. Because, I mean, you had lost Pap, and you were trying to replace Pap, and it was just a revolving door until you got Milazzo here. But, I mean, I know you don't have his stats. I would guess he probably hit like 235 that year. Like, it wasn't loud from Fiducia at all.
Oh, man. Was that?
The defense behind the plate was a struggle regardless who was back there.
Was that the year Romero was catching some and DHing and playing first?
Probably. Jordan Romero, yeah. Garza.
Or did that go into 19? It's so weird.
I think Romero, I believe, had the walk-off single to beat Cincinnati on opening day in 18.
So weird.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just weird.
And now he's knocking on the door. Like he's knocking on the door.
Dude, it happens,
yeah,
man.
It does.
Like, sometimes it's just when you develop and are you in the right farm system.
The pitcher. I can't remember. Riley Smith.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Diamondbacks.
A very nondescript LSU career. Big leaguer.
Yeah.
It happens. That's why, like, years ago when I was talking about Milazzo, the conversations that I would have with scouts were defensively, he's good enough. And the primary target for him would be like not a starter, but like a bullpen catcher in the show. And usually when they want bullpen catchers to actually send them down. They play a game in AAA, bring them right back up, and you just kind of keep them and you can make $750,000 a year doing that. Like, that's a really good life, you know?
Yeah, I'd take that.
But you just he had to hit a little, and he's doing that now. So, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he ends up in that, like, a similar conversation, right? Bro. Dude's hitting 400 in AAA.
Mm-hmm. Wonder what Kendall's going to owe that guy. You should have asked him.
We'll make sure. Remind me, we'll ask him next week.
Yeah.
What was the bet? Okay. Thanks to Kendall Rogers. If you missed it last hour, we had Shelton Sampson in studio with us. Jayson Swain was here as we started our SEC spring recaps. We started on Rocky Top with the Vols. You can catch everything on demand if you miss it. AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Tell you every day to book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. If you like competition and playing tournaments, go to the website at golf.breck.org, by the way. And right at the top of the page, you'll see the tournaments and events tabs, and then they have the tournament schedule. So you can see, like, what might be upcoming. So, I mean, coming up next weekend, the weekend of the 29th, is the 4-ball challenge at Beaver Creek, which is a gorgeous course. If you want to go register for that, I mean, It's coming up not this Saturday, but next. So you can go register right now at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. It's right there on the tournament schedule. Just click the 4-ball challenge at Beaver Creek. 18-hole, 2-player, better ball. You can register right now, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We will come back. We'll probably make fun of Muso a little more for smoking pot all the time here on What? I mean, Muso, just own it. Like, no. Everybody gets it. It's okay, man. A lot of places it's legal now. My buddy.
It's true. A lot of places it's legal now.
Dr. Jared Fobb, good friend. Like, I've known the Fobbinator since we were in, like, the 2nd grade. He's a doctor now, and he sent me this earlier. He's a physician, and he spoke today on medical marijuana in the workplace. Like, literally today on April the 20th. How about that? ABC Pelican Orientation Lab on Highland Road.
Strong scheduling there. I mean, that was definitely on purpose that they had that, and that's really...
Medical marijuana in the workplace. How about that on 420? I mean, Muse, it's okay. Like, nobody's judging you. You need to step outside and puff the Magic Dragon? You know, it's your prerogative. Okay. And if ever there was a day to do it, Muse, this is your day. I'm really late now. It's AFR.
AFR.
Sorry. AFR is brought to you by New Orleans Flooring. 2 great locations, Metairie and Prairieville. The Prairieville location on Airline Highway. You go south on Airline, past the Walmart, look to the right. You can't miss it. Blue sign, blue awning. It's New Orleans Flooring. More than 1 million square foot of flooring in stock. The other thing that's so impressive, and I was there a few weeks back. We had our Saturday event there. They barbecued for everybody coming through. They were giving away really cool prizes, and I'm just helping people buy great flooring at discounted prices. They are building out the warehouse even farther back at the Prairieville location, so they're going to be able to double and triple the amount of inventory that they have in stock. It's incredible. It's New Orleans Flooring. No matter what type of flooring you're looking for, they're going to be able to give it to you at an amazing discount because they cut out the middleman. Buy where the pros buy. It's New Orleans Flooring. You literally should not go anywhere else. NOLAflooring.com. Learn more online or visit either location. It's NOLAflooring.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford has $2,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% APR for 84 months on new 22 Ford Expeditions. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off.
I was going to clean my room until I got high. I was gonna get up and find the broom, but then I got high. My room is still messed up, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, 'cause I got high.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I love the buy-in from our audience. I mean, my entire text line,
They love it,
and my entire Twitter mentions are nothing but people suggesting hooch songs.
There you go.
We could play hooch. Who got the hooch?
Good.
That'd be a good one. Mike Brazel. Sorry if I missed it, but "Smokin'" by Boston would be a good one. He notes perfect for a dope smoking Red Sox fan.
There you go.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the Red Sox fan part's
it's the
right.
Closest thing he got to finally acknowledging. 311, Who's Got the Herb? That's by Brian.
Got him.
He didn't get nothing, bro. It's just illustrating the absurdity that neither of you even knew who 311 was. Daniel Landry notes, your boy Nick Coombs actually caught the second most games behind Fiducia in 2018. I forgot about Coombs.
Where was Garza?
Garza was 19.
Okay. How'd you forget about Coombs? Where did he go to high school, Matt?
Calicut, yes.
I mean,
And Nick's great. Nick's a friend, winner at every sport he ever played. And yes, he caught.
Hit a few bombs.
He did hit a few bombs.
Played some first, though. A lot of first, I thought.
He did.
Yeah.
That's probably more so. Wasn't there an injury mixed in there?
Yeah. P-Money loves putting catchers at first base, man.
Look, man.
It worked.
Look
at Jared Jones.
They play a lot
of
baseball games. I've been doing this a lot of years. At some point, the teams run together. The years run together. The results run together. It's not like football where you play once a week and you got 12 of them. And it's every angle of every game is all analyzed and everything. I can tell you rotations in given years as I kind of piece it together. I can tell you maybe who was, that's played those types of roles. But, man, part of me is a little embarrassed that I have the Hunter Fiducia black hole in my brain that I don't remember watching him. The other part of me is I'm not apologizing for this. There's a lot that's maybe the most common thing that happens to me regularly here is people will come up and say, oh, I loved when you did this, or I remember when you interviewed that, or I sent you a note about this on the show. Man, when you really start to break it down, so we hit 13 years of AFR in February. 13 years. On average, 250 shows a year over 13 years, 3 hours a day. You're talking about roughly I think I did the math. It's 10,000 hours of radio on this show, right? So let's see, 13 years times 250 shows. That's 3,250 shows roughly on AFR. Times 3 hours a day, it's 9,750 hours of radio. That is a crap load of hours.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of talking.
I'm right there on Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule, the Outliers book. I mean, we had the conversation in here where I remember we had interviewed on the show, wasn't it
It was Cody
Dickerson.
Cody Dickerson.
I interviewed Cody Dickerson. Didn't have any recollection of it whatsoever. Paul's like, yeah, you had him on the show. Like, really? Had no idea. Completely forgot. It runs together. So,
but then what's so crazy is the stuff that you do remember just from years ago.
It's why I always say that doing something, anything in this industry that is memorable is so impressive because it's very hard to do. People mostly listen passively. You're in and out. You catch things. So if you do something that everybody remembers 10, 20 years later, it's pretty incredible when you could do something like that. That's why I always tell you about the Barbie girl thing.
Yeah.
Like, you take something that's a non-thing and make it a thing, and people are like, how many people ask you about Barbie girl?
A lot.
All the time. All the time. And how many people ask you about being a pothead?
A lot. I was going to say that's the other...
Yeah!
That's the other
Paulie,
thing that we've just created to be like, oh, look at this.
By the way, Paulie, did you do the thing at the start of the show that I asked you about with the thing of the thing?
I did do it.
Oh, you did? In hour 3? Okay, we'll do it on
2 and 3.
Good. We'll make sure we do it on the way out. So I just missed it. So if you're listening, not watching,
oh Lord,
make sure you get to YouTube, the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. At the start of hour 2 and 3, when we do our introductions, there's a little Easter egg in there for you here on 420.
What did you do, Paul?
A little Easter egg in there. We call that a tease. But you have to go to the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. See, I had intended here to talk about Brian Kelly and let you hear what he had to say about the quarterbacks. That just didn't happen at all. So I'm just going to remind you about DraftKings. We got the Otter coming up. Yeah, we can do it tomorrow. We got the Otter coming up. DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Look, all throughout the NBA playoffs, and certainly right now, this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, new customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, make a $5 pregame money line bet on an NBA game. If it hits, they'll give you $150 in free bets right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook, plus everyone, new and existing customers, every single day during the NBA playoffs. There are games every day. Every single day during the NBA playoffs, you can get a no-sweat same-game parlay. Place your same-game parlay in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back up to $10. You got to opt in, so go to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you use the promo code Baton Rouge only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in required. One bonus bet issued based on amount of initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. What do you say, Muse? Just for the sake of doing something sports-related, how about Brian Kelly? He was asked today if we might see Mason Smith in the spring game. Here's what BK said.
It's just not something that is worth the risk. You know, he's in a position where, you know, he can do a lot of the, you know, virtually all of the drill work. But to put him into a spring game, it just doesn't, there's no advantage, you know, from that perspective. So we'll give him more time to get his legs stronger and to the point where, you know, his first contact will be, you know, in August. And I think that's probably the prudent thing.
If the answer were anything other than that, there should have, like, rightly been a riot in this town. Yes, Mason Smith is far too important. Do not play him at all until the season comes and you're playing for real. Okay, spring game on Saturday. AFR at Zurich tomorrow in New Orleans. But one thing left to do is a little Otter Locks. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. If you check out Gordon's social media, he's on all social media platforms at Get Gordon. So make sure you follow him. Speaking of Mason Smith, the latest post, the latest member of the G team, of course, is Mason Smith. The Get Gordon team of athletes, as Gordon notes, full of greatness and proud to have Mason Smith representing the G team. Get Gordon, get it done. Join the G team like Mason Smith has, like we have here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and like so many injured people throughout Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. If you've been injured, it's not your fault. You need representation. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. No matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, call 888-8888. That's 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. Remember, Gordon's grads as well. Gordon's giving a dozen high school graduates a free MacBook, a free Microsoft Surface as they head to college. You can enter right now at gordonsgrads.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of WR.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and Joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So last night, the Otter gave us the Twins on the run line. He gave us the Bucks laying the 8. He gave us the Memphis Grizzlies plus 1.5. How about an outright winner? 3-0 for the Otter. We're humming again. How are you, Otter?
You can ring my bell. Yes, indeed. Hey, guess what's going on tonight at the River?
Call out,
Something like that. It's a big old Price is Right event going on.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's everybody's pre-pricing right. The pre-party is at Jolie Pearl apparently. Everybody's got their name tag and they're practicing Plinko out on the lawn right now.
Plinko. I used to love that. They try to the little disc, let it slide down the thing, you join the money and all that. Yeah, I love it. Good stuff. That's good stuff.
Colucci is checked in.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, that little devil, the New Jersey Devils, 6:38 puck drop. They're down 1-0. Got to bounce back at home tonight. Kind of been the bounce the theme, huh? How about our two games last night? Higher seed, lose the first game at home, bounce back. That's That's 13 straight now in that situation in the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
That have covered, Matt. So, and how about it, too? You pick the winner, you cover 20 in a row now in the NBA. But New Jersey on the ice at 6:30, minus $1.35 roughly.
Yeah, minus $1.35 is what I'm looking at.
Okay. I was all set to just plow in on the Los Angeles Clippers. No Kawhi. Well, throw that out.
Okay.
But I do have an angle. Max, what is the Kevin Durant prop for points tonight? Kawhi Leonard has made it difficult on Kevin Durant, too. KD now, no Kawhi out.
1 minute remaining.
Sketchy on the spread, but over in his point total.
I'm looking at for Durant 28.5.
28.5. Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to go bananas tonight. Yep.
All right, Durant over 28.5. Okay.
And I'm going to go back with the desperation versus complacency, that young roster. I'm interested to see how the Kings respond tonight. I'm going to take the Warriors minus the points at home against the Kings.
All right, Golden State laying about 6.5. That's what it says at DraftKings.
6.
All right, Jolie Pearl.
Jolie Pearl is come on down.
You're the next contestant on Game Time with Jimmy Ott. All right, Otter, have a great show. Thank you.
See you, Matt.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. Muse, enjoy your pot smoking night. Paulie, thanks. See you tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, let me remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Man, just found out actually going to get to go hang out with Joel and Sean McMullen. Sean McMullen, former Tiger, at the LSU Bama Game 3 on Sunday out at the box. Really looking forward to that and hanging with my friends. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, great local business, locally owned and operated for 76 years. Go to Michelli.com. It's where people learn about all of the different things that they do, products, services, all the different calibration that they offer. You can learn more. You can request a quote. You can ship your equipment to them. It's really about efficiency. Look, turnaround time. Sometimes calibrations should take, 7 to 10 days. Some are taking 8 to 10 weeks because of that turnaround time. With Michelli, they're going to shrink that for you, have it back to you 7 to 10 days, make you more efficient. Like what happens if a backup goes down and your equipment hasn't been returned yet? What do? You don't have that problem when you call Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
Bayou Ford has $2,000 off MSRP, plus 2.9% APR for 84 months on new 22 Ford Expeditions. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. Relief Windows.